Live. Yet again, we are live. Now I'm going to see if I can change the stream to ultra low latency. I can't. So next stream, I'll try and remember to put this on ultra low latency so that I can chat to you guys a bit more. So I have slightly upgraded the webcam. This is actually the overhead cam. If you were here before, you know that the overhead cam broke, and I can show you the evidence of that in a minute. But we're just going to be building one PC today, that's all. And then I'm going to bugger off. So it's not going to be a long stream, probably an hour, if that. And obviously, if you guys have got any PC questions, anything like that, then you put them in the chat. Easy peasy. Let's get on with some building. So this is a bit of a rebuild because the motherboard was faulty. So I had to send the motherboard back. Actually, I didn't send it back, I had to destroy it, which I'll show you in a bit if you're interested. So 3060, RTX 3060, that's going to be going in. Unfortunately, Kingston NV2, not the best SSD. I don't use these anymore. This is a bit of an older build. We've got some RGB memory here as well, so looking good. We've got another lot to go there. Oh, Roman's back in the build. How's it going, my friend? I'm not going to be doing these streams every day. It's just that I might as well. If I've got a build that I can't do a full filming session for, then I might as well just do a stream and catch up with you guys whilst I'm doing what I would be doing anyway. How's your day going, Roman? Hopefully it's good, mate. Enjoying the higher quality webcam, hopefully. The A cam here, hopefully that'll be high quality soon as well. I'm just going to get a longer HDMI cable to work with the capture card, that's all. At the moment it's running on USB, so it's not as good, but the one you're watching now is through the capture card. It looks pretty crisp from where I'm standing, so hopefully it's the same for you. Okay, so if you missed the first bit, we're just going to be building another PC today, giving out some free PC advice if anyone wants it. Short stream, probably about an hour. So we're doing a rebuild system. This is 3060, just showed you we had some RAM and a cheap SSD. I don't recommend these Kingston NV SSDs really. They don't have any DRAM cache or anything like that, so they're really a super budget option. Just started my workday camera. Oh, thanks, mate. It's actually a nice camera. It's a Sony ZV-E10, and that's an Sony 6700. So they're not cheap cameras. You know, I need good cameras for taking photos of the builds and stuff, but trying to get them hooked up technically is not always the easiest thing to do if you haven't got all the cables. So it's funny, isn't it? You always have loads of like HDMI cables and stuff until you actually need them, and then you can never bloody find them. Right, let's go get some more of the components for the build. So we've got tower cooler, Thermalright Assassin X 120, probably. Decent stuff. There's the SSD that we were talking about, NV2. Focus camera, focus. There we go. And we've also got 12400F. So this is kind of like old stock now, right? I think it's trying to focus on my face. If I go like that, probably, there you go. You can probably see it now. So, yeah, I like 12400F when the price is good. All PC components are fine if they're priced well. It's when they're not priced well that it becomes a problem. Okay, we need other bits. Let's go and grab them. I believe this is the fan that goes with the tower cooler as well. And then we got the case. So it's the Fractal Focus 2, and I've already got the power supply installed because this is a rebuild from before. The reason I haven't completely undone it for the stream is because I'll show you on the other camera just how bad the cable management is in the Fractal Focus 2. This case is amazing apart from the cable management. Like if they just sorted the cable management out, this would be like a go-to case. It looks amazing, but the cable management really lets it down. So I'll take you over to the A cam or B cam. I don't even know what the difference is. There you go. So I'll zoom out there. So if I turn this slightly to the side, you can see there's cable everywhere all over the back here. So this was an absolute nightmare case to build in, especially with the cable extensions. But you can see that it's really shallow. Like trying to get everything in there. There's cables all over the back of this. It's one of those cases you really should be using a modular power supply with, really, if you're going to use it. So if we spin that around, so you can see that the power supply sits here, but it's not modular, so all the cables like have to go through and around the back. Not ideal. And the other thing to note is that it doesn't have like a full PSU cover, so yeah, you do have to put all the cables around the back, otherwise you're going to see them in the bottom. So yeah, do you know what? It's such a shame though. It's such a beautiful case, and it was like really cheap, like 55 quid, but I can't recommend it to people with how bad the cable management is. It's just, it was a real oversight that they didn't think about. So the glass that you put on the side, it has like a little raised bit here as like a shield, but it doesn't have the full cover that goes over here, so you can still see inside down the bottom. So it's a shame. It's a real shame. Otherwise, it's a lovely, lovely case. I mean, the mesh on the front looks great. When this is lit up, we'll see it's going to look amazing. But yeah, a little bit of a letdown. So let me show you the motherboard that we had before. So I got these ages ago. I'll show you on the front cap. So it's a NZXT N5Z69. It's actually quite a nice board. I got these for like £80 a while ago, and I bought loads of them. Unfortunately, this one just broke. You can look at the socket there, all the pins are destroyed. I had to do that in order for them to send me an RMA, so that's not the reason why it's broken. I broke those to prove to the support that it's called proof of destruction, so that you don't have to ship it back to them. They'll just send you out a new board anyway. So yeah, so RIP this board. I've replaced it with another one, which I'm going to grab now. So this would be the board that we use. This would be plenty for an i5 12400F, and you could even put some of the locked i7s and i9s into this and be just about all right as well. I wouldn't be putting any K-type CPUs into this board, but otherwise it's going to be fine. It doesn't come with Wi-Fi, so we'll have to add a Wi-Fi chip, but that's fine. We've got a few of those spare, so good to go. Mont Pen. Do you know what? That sort of blue sticker thing, I don't actually even know what it means. Is that supposed to be the same as like the laughing face? I have no idea. I'm honestly such a boomer when it comes to this kind of thing. So I've got a couple of Wi-Fi chips spare. Nowadays, I just buy motherboards that have got Wi-Fi built in because it's a lot simpler. I bought a load of these in bulk before at a good price, so we're putting this into the case as well. So those are the changes that we'll be making. Are there any other bits that I need here? I think that might be everything. A lot of the case is already made up from what we did before with it, so hopefully this build shouldn't take very long, and hopefully it'll all go nice and smooth as well. Right, so what should we do first? Motherboard, I think. Everything else seems to already be done. They'll swap cams. There we go. It is a new board as well, so this will be fine. And I can tell you what, we'll have a look at that together in a minute. I'll show you the VRM. It's fine. It's just a fine VRM. Unfortunately, IO shield, that is a shame because I do prefer it when they're built in, but when you're going to save money, you're going to save money. And for the sake of a 12400F, like, come on guys, let's not waste money where it's not needed on a fancy motherboard, right? Tell you what, let's put this bag away as well. Okay, so there's a motherboard. We'll get a good angle on this in a minute, don't worry. I know you probably can't see it particularly well. Cool. So it's a decent looking board. Let me just swap back over onto this one. So we can see if I tilt it that way, try and get my face out of the frame so it stays focused. So you can just about see the end of some of the MOSFETs there. So by my reckoning, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That looks like 7 phases. It's probably 6. That's great. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 MOSFETs along the top as well. This is actually quite a robust board. I'd be happy putting something like an i9 chip in this, as long as it was a locked chip and not a K chip, and as long as you understood that you can't overclock on a B series board on Intel. But this is a surprisingly robust board for the money. Unfortunately, there are no tickets this morning. Which I was going to say, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't know if you meant like support tickets or something. So actually not, it's pretty nice looking motherboard as well, I think. Decent features. Has it got USB-C? It does, it's got USB-C, so yeah, I think decent, right? You don't need fancy motherboards. This was only 80 quid. It is the DDR4 version, because that's going to save us money for this budget build. So just to let you know. Okay, right. Okay, chat, so what are we going to do? We're going to put SSD first or RAM first? It doesn't really matter, so I'll leave it up to you guys. We can put in whichever one you want first. Usually I put the storage in first. It's my preference, but it doesn't really matter. And while I'm waiting for you guys, I can put that back onto the A-cam. We can find a nice angle for that. It's going to give us a good view, like so. I don't know how long the delay is on the stream, so yeah, I'll always start with the RAM. All right, let's do the RAM then. So the customer, so basically the build originally came with just 16 gigs of this stuff. This is DDR4 3600 CL18 ADATA RGB, but they added another 16 gigs at checkout, so we've been waiting for that to come in and now we can do it. If you've got your 4 sticks, you want to make sure that you put in the sticks in pairs. So slots 2 and 4 for this pair that come in one pack, and then the other 2 and the other 4. I mean, you could probably put them in any order you want, but I'm a bit superstitious about this kind of thing. So why complicate something that doesn't need to be complicated? There we go. Clunk, clunk. And clunk, clunk. And then we can open up this pack next. Oh, it's like Christmas every day. Ugh. Always crunch your RAM top and bottom, but click it at both sides. Beautiful stuff. So we've got nice 4 sticks. That's going to look really cool in the build as well. The difficulty is with 4 sticks, it does sometimes reduce the stability of the RAM. I think at 3600 speed, you're not going to have any problems, especially on Intel. They've got good memory controllers, but something to note. All right, so let's put the SSD in next. So you could put this in the top slot. That would be fine. It would be totally fine, actually. Or you could put it into the lower slot. For this, which is a fairly low performance drive, it's not going to get too hot. I'd be tempted to put that in the bottom slot because it will make it easier for the customer to upgrade later. But I don't know if on the B760, whether this bottom slot is PCIe 4 or PCIe 3, so that might make a difference. So I'm going to see if it's written on the box anywhere. Storage. So they're both Gen 4, so I'm going to put this one at the bottom, not under the heatsink, because if the customer wants to add a better drive in future, I'd rather they be able to use this slot up here. One, because it's easy to service, you can change this out without having to take your graphics card out, whereas with this one, it's going to be much more fiddly. You could get in the way of your graphics card and everything. So why don't we make the customer's life easier for the future? Put it down here. I will need a standoff by the looks of it in order to mount the SSD, so let me have a look for one of those. There's just in the box there. If anyone new's joined us, we're building a Fractal Focus 2 build. It's a bit of a rebuild because the old one broke, the motherboard was broken, so we had to get this new motherboard in order to fulfill the customer's order. So it looks like this will have to go in the furthest left hole. Let's zoom us in, you can have a better look at that. And of course, if you're just in the chat, let us know how your day's going. You know? How's your Tuesday? I don't do these streams every day. It's just that sometimes when I've got little jobs that I need to do, it's just fun to do it on a stream, isn't it? So you could thumb crank that in, although it's probably going to be easier to use a screwdriver. So we shall do that. Cool, and this one's one of those cool ones with a little plastic toggle spinny thing on it. So you don't have to put a screw in once you put the standoff in, which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't think it's necessary, but it's a nice thing to have. So we'll just slide that in. Obviously, all M2 SSDs, they're keyed, so they're going to have a gap on the connector, which will line up with a post on the plug here. So yeah. Yeah, I don't. You know, I sell a few more than 4 or 5 a month, but not that many more. My main products are e-learning packages for universities, actually, so I do this as an extra. It's good fun, though. And I often recycle a lot of the parts and then create built-to-order models on the website, so that's why on the channel sometimes you see a lot of the same parts being used. Cool, so that's in. I know it's not always the nicest thing to see an SSD without a heatsink on it, but it's quite a low performance drive, so it's not going to affect the performance. If a customer wants to put a better one in future, they just chuck it in this top one with the heatsink. I think that's a much better solution overall. Okay, so it looks like CPU next, so let's do that. So it's 12400F that we're doing today. So the good thing is now that all the new AMD stuff and the Intel is basically all the same, so it makes the process a lot simpler. Just unhook. And lift, although with the Intels they lift backwards like this. On AMD they lift the other way. And we get our 12400F, it probably won't focus that close in. And then you just put it in the readable direction like that, just drop it in gently, and it's easy, it's done. Clip down, hold in place, push the retention arm over, and hook it back in, and you're done. And like I say, always keep this piece of plastic in case you need to take the motherboard out or do whatever with it, you know. You don't want to leave those pins exposed. Cool. So we're going to need the cooler next. Give ourselves a slightly wider. That's good, Roman, mate. That's good. I love to hear that. You know, it's what you need. Especially, it's going to be Christmas coming up, isn't it? So that's going to hopefully drive some more sales for you, my friend. So back plates need to go on for Intel, so you just spin it round. Those through. Flippity flip. There we go. So we can now put our cooler in place after we put the mounting hardware on. So let's go and grab that. We'll have to find that mounting hardware first. I think that's it here. Depends where I put it, doesn't it? Oh, lordy lord. So one of these is what we want, and the other one isn't. I'm going to assume that it's probably this one, because I can see there's AMD hardware still in there, so it means that it wasn't used on AMD. It's probably that one. Yeah, the business does come from the website. I get a lot of referrals as well. Occasionally some local people through Facebook Marketplace, but it's not very reliable. Yeah, it was definitely that bag that had all the stuff in it, but we are missing a couple of bits like standoffs and other things, so I need to find those, otherwise I'm not going to be able to mount the cooler, which would be shocking. Oh no, Max is back. No, today is a much cheaper build. This is a rebuild in the Fractal Focus 2, so this is going to be a much cheaper one, 3060 and 12400F build. Right. Now I've got to find where I put the original mounting hardware for the bloody. Maybe it's both actually. Maybe. Yeah, the ads are tough. The ads are tough. Not gonna lie, they are quite expensive, but they seem expensive. But it depends on how much you spend to acquire each customer, doesn't it? You know, if it costs you £10 to get a customer, but you make £50 each time, then maybe it's worth doing. You know, depends. It always just depends. I'm gonna have a look, see if I've got a bag with any more screws for this build. If not, I will make do with what I've got. Oh no, it's not. So the reason it's got 4 sticks of RAM is because it originally comes with 2, but the customer added another 16 gigs at checkout, so that's why it's got 4. I want super gaming rig, here is money. Well, I wish there was more people like that in the world. I'd make a much better living. Right. I've had no luck finding anything else, but so I'm pretty sure these are the correct pieces. So let's just roll with it. Let's just roll with it. So think it matters which way the writing goes on the thermal right? Do you think it should go like that way, or should it go that way? I don't know if it actually matters. Or the XPG on the RAM is that way, so I assume it should go that way to look congruent with it, but yeah. It looks fairly evenly spaced, so I don't think it's going to matter. So why don't we line it up with the rest of the text? So it's going to go that way. Should be doable. Need to work out which way the brackets go. So, unfortunately, because this is a rebuild, I don't have the instruction manual, so let's see. So, no, these will need to face inside. Like that, maybe? Or do you think? I think it could go, actually maybe it goes in there. I reckon it goes like that, doesn't it? I'm going to look up the texture we bottom to top. Yeah, I don't know. Why would people say that? I think that the people that say don't build a PC probably are trying to sell you PCs. I mean, I sell a lot of pre-built PCs, that's like a lot of my business, but I still encourage people to build their own. So the question is going to be, which one of these holes is for LGA 1700? I think it's the exterior one up too, isn't it? We're going to roll with it. We're going to roll with it. If it's wrong, we just move the cooler back on and off. I hear a van outside, so that might be a delivery. No, it's not. It's okay. Right. So we're going to install this cooler. We're going to install this cooler. Rega Q in the chat, love to see it. 4900KF Ryzen 9 7900X3D. Why on earth? Oh, you mean versus? Out of those two, 4900K every day of the week, 100% if you can get it at a good price. But if it's for gaming, then you're better off with either a 7800X3D or a 9800X3D. Don't bother with Ryzen 9 for gaming, you're wasting your money. Some games will be better on Intel, but it's quite a small number of games. So, you know, usually I recommend for most people to get an AMD Ryzen because it's kind of like a set it and forget it solution. I'm pretty sure this is the right mounting hole because I remember LGA 1700 being slightly wider than 1200, so hopefully it should be fine. Although that one wants me to put it there. How curious. Have another look at that. So that one is certainly towards the back. Oh yeah, that's fine. The reason, Max, that it's blue is because they're different colors depending on the platform. So the LGA 1700 is blue for Intel, the AMD is red for AM4, AM5, and the black is like older Intel. So that's probably the reason. The thing is, you're not going to really see this once the cooler's on, so I'm not too fussed about it. And it basically, when you're picking pieces out, it's much harder to differentiate between all of these different, whichever one is the correct one, because they're all going to look really close. And the problem is that they probably tested it and worked out that people put the wrong ones on all the time, so by color coding them it makes it a lot easier, so I'll do that. Both gaming, editing, graphic designing, AI tasks. Yeah, the Ryzen 9 will be good. The 1400K will be great as well. You get better upgradability on AMD, so maybe that's something to consider. I think whichever one you get, they're going to be great. It's just, yeah, I don't really like the Ryzen 9s with the 12 cores. I just don't think they're very good value. Get the 16 core or get the 8 core, I think, but whichever one you go for is going to be great. Yeah. If your workload uses Intel QuickSync, then maybe the Intel will be better, as long as you don't get the F version, you get the K version. Something to think about. But you'll be happy either way. Okay, so just check that this lines up before putting the thermal paste on. Yes, it does. Perfect, so we did get the holes correct. Yeah, I know what you mean. There are other ways to do it, like you can texture them and put ribs on the side or whatever to help differentiate. I know what you mean. But you can't see this once the cooler's on, so it's okay. No, so Max, that is a misconception. So the NPU on the Intel chips is essentially worthless for anyone doing any serious AI work. The reason is that AI NPU is just for like Windows Copilot and it's very low powered. Using a dedicated GPU, it's like 500 times more powerful than that AI NPU on the CPU. So it's not, I don't find it a useful feature to have, you know, if you're a serious AI person. Maybe if you just use casual AI like Copilot and things like that, it's useful. But it's a bit of a misconception actually. So you're still probably better off just focusing on the GPU if you're trying to train local AI models. Have I ever used the Thermalright Trofeo Vision? No, I don't like those LCD screen CPU coolers. If I'm going to get one, I'll get the proper one, like the Kraken. The reason is, the whole point of buying those ones with the screen on them is they look super clean, and those Thermalright ones just don't look very clean to me, so that's why I don't tend to get them. I mean, I could try it in future. Alright, so should we put some thermal paste down? I'm going to get some Arctic MX6 for this one, I think. Alright. I will be back. The DPD guy is here. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm back. Right. We can unbox whatever that is later. So let's put our thermal paste on. I like MX6 because it's kind of thin. Makes it easier. So Intels are a little bit longer, so a blob in the middle will still work, but sometimes like a line is a bit better for these. Craig, hello my friend. Great to see you. Thanks for commenting on the last stream. Appreciate it, my friend. Good. So that's kind of what I tend to do for Intel CPUs. There's no like hard or fast rule as to what you have to do. Max, you're a cheeky boy. You love to wind me up. Okay. The Jungle Leopard Pro 240. Never heard of that one, Roman. Yeah, well, you should if you've got any of it on your channel, because I'll check it out if you've got some footage of it. I'm just always skeptical of the cheap LCD screen coolers. That's all. Not because of their cooling capability, just because of the screen looking a bit naff sometimes. But, you know. Nah, so you can do that, Max. There's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't make a difference. It just doesn't do anything. As long as you put enough on and it's vaguely near the middle, that's all you need. Obviously, with any multi-sided screw thing, you need to go between the sides rather than tightening one side all the way down first, because you get better spread of the paste, better contact on the CPU that way. So we'll just go buzz, 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 and then it's back and forth. And we just do that until we feel firm resistance like we have there. You don't want to force it. You don't need to force it. Just get it to the point where it's slightly tight. What CPU would you recommend with the B580? That's an easy choice. You want the Ryzen 5 7500F. You get it from AliExpress. I get it for £115, so in dollars you're going to be like $125 probably. That's a real good pick for the B580. It's not wrong to go for a higher one, obviously. It just depends on the games that you're playing, but the 7500F will do a good job. I just finished building a Lian Li A3 build with that exact combo. I was very impressed with the performance for the money that I paid. The only game it wasn't very good was Warzone. It did fall quite a bit behind the Radeon card for Warzone, but the other games were fantastic. I couldn't complain at all. So, and it's a good GPU. The only thing to look out for is, at the moment in the UK, I can get RTX 5060s for the same price. And if you're playing at 1080p, the 5060 is probably a little bit faster. So that's something to think about. But if you're playing 1440, the extra VRAM will be very helpful on the ARC card. How many months does the thermal paste last? That's a good question. It depends, essentially. Like, how hard do you run it? How hot do you run it? What paste do you use? So usually the thicker and less moist the paste is, the longer it will last. So probably 3 or 4 years. The looser paste like the MX6, 2 or 3 years normally, but it's not an exact problem like that. Basically with the thermal paste, if you notice that your CPU temperatures are creeping up, and it's not because of dust, then just take it off and change it. Usually a few years, but I know some systems that have run with the same thermal paste for 5 or 6 years and it's not had any problem, so it doesn't matter. If you're worried, then you can get a sheet instead, like a thermal conducting sheet rather than using paste. That's another option as well. Okay, so let's zoom out and we will put our fan on. I'll give you a little bit more breathing room there. There we go. Okay. I do have an Amazon parcel coming at some point. I think it's probably not going to come till later though. So let's put the fan on here. As we all know, fans, normal fans, the air will go in this way and it will come out of the ugly side. Unless you have a reverse blade fan, in which case it's the opposite way, but most fans will be normal like this. And then for your cable routing, you just want to put this in the way that it's going to be the neatest. So if I put this fan like this way up, you can imagine when you look into the case, you're going to see loads of cable dangling everywhere. Even worse, if you put it this side, you've got to dangle the cable over. So you just think about where your cable's going to go, feed it at the lowest and most rear point like that. Then we'll just get our little silver clips and clip that on. And Rogue Q, I've actually got one of those sheets. If you wanted me to show you what they look like, I can do that. They're not quite as good as paste most of the time, but they never dry out. So it's one of those things you just set it and forget it. Okay, and then we'll just get our other silvery piece and clip this on. I saw there was an Arctic cooler that's come out where you don't need to use these silvery things. I was quite interested in that, but the thing is you've got to pay for that, aren't you? Whereas with the Thermalright one here, this cooler was like £18. So cheap, such good performance for the money. So there you go, so that's on. And what's nice to do with a tower cooler especially is to plug it all in. So then you can just not have to worry about anything else later. So we've got 2 plugs coming off this. We've got the speed plug, the PWM plug, and we've also got the ARGB plug as well. So we'll plug those both in now. I can see that this motherboard has 2 ARGB headers, so we can be fine by using up all the ones on the top here. We'll still have plenty of headers left elsewhere. Max says, have you seen Framework PC? Do you mean the laptops? So the idea of the Framework laptop is that it's user serviceable, isn't it? So you could upgrade parts, it's more modular. So they tried to make laptops like PCs where they're modular and you can change the parts. I like it, but that usually comes at the expense of it being sleek. So, you know, there's benefits and drawbacks, isn't there? But I do like it, I do. But I'm very happy with my Gigabyte Aorus laptop. It works really well. So they launched a PC monoblock. I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't even know that was a thing. The problem with that is that's actually the opposite of what Framework's supposed to be though, isn't it? Because desktop PCs are already modular. So I don't know what Framework think they're going to be adding to the conversation. In fact, if anything, it's regressing the PCs into like discrete units rather than modular things. So not sure that I'm quite a fan of that, but we'll see. Right, so next up we have to do the ARGB plug. God, I hate ARGB plugs. Jesus Christ, they are the worst design ever. These tiny 3 little pins. See if I could do this first time, I'm going to be very happy. This always takes me like 3 goes, even after so many PC builds. Oh, first time. Oh. Give me some likes in the chat for the first time ARGB plug in. Right. I'm hoping Max that you don't curse this build like you did for yesterday's, and this is all going to go without a problem. Because if it doesn't, you're going to get permabanned, mate. We've got Edgar in the chat, says hello. Edgar, where are you tuning in from, my friend? Let us know. Always interested to know where people are coming from, how they're finding my stream, how their Tuesdays are going. So I'm just stuffing in some of this excess cable here. Cool. So just to keep it looking a bit tidier, you can stuff it all underneath, because you're not going to see that from the front. It's not going to go anywhere, so that's fine. All right, so actually, motherboard is pretty much done. Should we take a little bird's eye view, see how we're getting on? So we're looking pretty tasty. I'll show you on the webcam cam, because you get a wider view. So looking good, right? So we just need to slap this into the case and then wire it up. Roman is from Rome, Georgia. I love it. Actually, do you know what, Georgia? It looks like a beautiful country. I think it's had a bad past, has it? I don't know, but it looks beautiful. So kudos to you, man. I think it's becoming quite popular because the tax is quite favourable. So I think quite a lot of rich people are moving there, if I remember correctly. Edgar is from Portugal. Oh, Edgar, Portugal, beautiful country. I was in Lisbon in March this year. Amazing place. Like, there's nowhere like it, is there? And quite cheap to get around as well. Like, Ubers were like €4, so I was very happy. Everyone spoke perfect English. There was loads of good restaurants, and yeah, I was very happy with it. A lot of people there said we should go to Porto as well, so that'd be the next place. What part of Portugal are you from? Okay. We've got 14 people viewing. I am over the moon with that. That's incredible. That's like 14 more people than I expected. North is better, Porto and Braga, yeah? All right, well, I'll have to check it out sometime, because the flights to Portugal from UK are quite favourable, actually. Like, they're not too expensive. It can be done over a weekend, because it's same time zone and everything, so yeah. All right, then. So the state of Georgia in the US. Oh, I see. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a town or an area. That's cool. The US gets a lot of hate, but I actually think the US is pretty cool. It's definitely better than Britain at the moment. Anyway, our country's really gone down the pan, and it doesn't actually look like it's getting any better soon either. Max, are you from Vienna? Vienna's cool. It sounds like a really cool place. I've been to Austria. I've been skiing. I can't remember the name of the place, but it was absolutely gorgeous. Oh, what's like the big skiing places in Austria? Where do people go? I think we flew into Salzburg, maybe. So it'd be whichever ski resorts are close to there. Let me know. So Edgar says, I need advice. I bought a PC and I feel like my memory is crashing out the games while I stream. So tell me in detail what happens, because memory usually gives you very specific symptoms. So let me know what actually goes on. What do you see on screen or feel or experience? Right, let's get this IO shield in. So we can just do that. Don't forget to put this in before your motherboard. There's a big mistake. A nation of fat, opinionated, untravelled, patriotic people. Yeah, well, everywhere has its flaws, Roman Hills, you know. And I'm sure wherever you go, there's going to be good and bad. But the thing that I like about America, that I don't like so much about Britain, there's lots of things I love about Britain and England. I think it's a gorgeous country, actually, especially when it's in a better state. What I love about Americans is their kind of entrepreneurial spirit. And they always seem to want to like cheer people on and do better. Whereas in Britain, if you do well for yourself, people just can't wait to take stuff off you, and they criticize you, and they call it the crabs in the bucket mentality. Because when crabs try to escape from a bucket, the other crabs actually pull them back down in nature. So it's a weird thing. And British people are a bit like that. They do like to pull people down. I'm not the only one to say that. That's quite a common thing that people say. But I agree, your obesity rate is absolutely disgusting. Should not be obese. Just shouldn't be obese, should you? I mean, I can say that, I'm a doctor, I know it's bad. I see it's bad. You might live to 80, but your years from 60 to 80 are full of just discomfort, pain, everything is an effort. If you do one thing, health is about the basics, right? There's lots of people that want to sell you lots of expensive supplements and rubbish. Health is very simple. Eat good food, which means whole foods rather than processed stuff. Don't eat too much of it. Exercise regularly, focusing on weights and cardio. Don't smoke and don't take a load of drugs, and you'll have quite a long, happy life from a health perspective. You know, obviously things can be unlucky. You can get in traumas, you can get cancers and things like that. That can happen, but you're going to reduce the chance of bad stuff happening if you just focus on the basics. The reason that people don't talk about the basics is because you can't sell the basics because people already know. Have money is, yeah, but you don't have, this is the thing. People always say that like healthy food is like unaffordable. That's rubbish. Legumes, beans, rice, basic stuff that's healthy is not expensive. It's so cheap. So you can still be healthy if you're lower income. You just need to make an effort. But I do agree, especially in a lot of other countries like that don't have nationalised healthcare, that if you get unwell and you're not very well off, yes, you can get into real trouble. Like, I'd hate to be unwell in America. You can get bankrupted just from a hospital bill, so it's crazy. So I got Mr. Colgrate in the chat here. I'm American. I left the country for several months, came back and realised for the first time how fat everyone is compared to... Dude, yeah, I know, it's bad, isn't it? But on the flip side, doesn't that make it a lot easier for you to be considered like an attractive person that's healthy, right? Because everyone else around you looks so awful. Right, let's get back to Edgar, because he had a question. So he plays CS2. While I'm playing stream, I noticed that lots of FPS, 200 FPS, and gamers crash breaks. I know it's normal to lose. So are you talking about stutters? Is that... Oh, so maybe you're hitting your memory max. Maybe you just need a bit more RAM. It depends on what you're streaming, what you're doing alongside the game. So you could try and add some more RAM. Usually your RAM only is malfunctioning if you get blue screens. So most blue screens on Windows are to do with memory. It's usually a RAM problem. It's so funny, isn't it, how you can you can start building PCs on stream and then end up talking about obesity and stuff. Interesting stuff though, I love it. But we do need to get back to actually building this PC, so let's do it. Oh, 26k. One night in hospital, Jesus. That sounds like a rough night, my friend. What, do you need, dialysis or something? You're up on the ICU for 26k? You take a look to my build. Well, yeah, you can tell me what your specs are if you want. But you seem to have already identified the problem. It's memory, right? I don't... Oh, well, I can't read East Asian characters, but hello to you too. So Corsair Vengeance, DDR4 6400, CL36, pretty nice, yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty sweet setup. You could add some more RAM. It might not run at 6400 if you add more RAM. One thing I'm looking at the moment is these 48GB kits of DDR5. I think that's a real meta. SSD 22 standard WD Black SN7. Yeah, that's a nice. This is a pretty nice little system you got going there, and it's all quite good price to performance. So Roman says, I had a bad accident, required a lot of scans. Oh, dude, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Atham's building some systems this weekend. 7600X 9060 XT. Hopefully that's the 9060 XT 16GB, not the 8GB. If it is the 8GB, you should probably get the 5060 instead, because the price, at least in the UK, is the same. 32 gigs RAM and a 2nd Linux gaming PC, 9600, 9070 XT and 32 gigs. That's cool, man. That's cool. Those are both fantastic builds. You can have a great time with them. They're going to do everything that you need. Wish you the best of luck with that. Fantastic. Love it. And I love that everyone's telling me what their goal is with their systems. That's one of my pet peeves, is when people say, I need a PC for gaming, but they don't tell me what games they play. They don't tell me what resolution, operating system. Edgar, I don't know, because it depends what else you're running alongside your games. So, you know, if you're running a stream or a load of encoding and stuff, then that might be the problem. But if you're just doing a game in a basic 1080p stream, then usually that won't use too much memory. Yeah. Athan, my friend, thank you so much for the donation. I didn't even know I had donations enabled. but it's greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. Love that. And if anyone else is there, if you want to support the stream, just drop it a like, subscribe to the channel. We'll do some more of these live streams. They're good fun, actually. I don't know, maybe we'll do them regularly, like maybe every Tuesday or something, I don't know. But they're good fun. And I'll be doing this job anyway, so why not just have you guys along for the ride, huh? So you can see I've already got my cable sort of pre-routed, which is very helpful. And then we'll just lay the motherboard inside. I love just the simplicity of an air-cooled build. It's just so much easier than dealing with radiators and liquid coolers. I don't know, as I've got older, I've kind of thought less about the liquid cooling and more about the air cooling. I think it's got some other good benefits. So Roman says the customer ordered i4 4700K on its 56 to get. Yeah, dude, that's a sweet setup. That's going to be fantastic. 3500X is a beautiful case. I did a build on it on the channel actually, a beautiful white build. That was also Intel. I was very happy with that. So it's quite hard to see, but I'm plugging in the CPU 8-pin. And then you do, before you screw your motherboard down, guys, please check that you have not got any cables underneath the motherboard before you screw it in, because not because of damage, it's just because you'll have to fish them out later, and it is an awful experience trying to do that. So just make sure all your cables are clear before screwing it down. It looks like all mine are, so I'm hoping that it's all going to be fine. So I'm going to slide that across. And this case is cool. It's got a little nubbin in the middle that will hold the motherboard in place, so you don't have to screw the middle one in. Hopefully I can zoom in enough for you to see that. Manual focus. So we've got a nubbin here instead of a screw, which is very helpful. It just holds it all in place while you put your other screws in. 21 viewers, jeez, it's popping off. We got GB Backfall. Hey, good to see you, man. I'm glad you're new to the channel. Love it. Drop us a sub, like, and everything like that. And there'll be more of these coming up because I'm loving this. Tristan's going to swap his PSU today. Love it. What are you upgrading to, and what's in the rest of your system? So now we need to get the screws to fix the motherboard in place. So let me go and grab those. The only thing I'll say, guys, I am expecting an Amazon delivery at some point. So if I run off, that could be why. Okay, so let's fix some motherboard screws in place. Start with that one on the right there, shall we? So I'm going to use electronic, but I suggest you guys use manual for your builds. I'm just quite experienced, so I'm going to crank this all the way down to like the lowest setting, which means that I can't strip the motherboard screws out. The problem is if you go in with like a drill or something, you're going to be having bad times because you're going to completely strip the screw. It's going to be real faff to get out. So what I tend to do with these electric ones is put it on the lowest setting, just pulse until you get firm resistance. The whole idea of mounting this isn't that you put it in really tight. Yeah, exactly, Max. I fell on, mate. So GB Blackfrog, I recently replaced my laptop PTM. Yeah, I love that. I need to check out that PTM, man. It looks great. I've never used it myself, but the results look great. And Tristan says he's got 9070 XT, 9800X 3D, but the power supply isn't up to my liking. Not so great unit. Okay, that's cool. So what unit have you currently got in there? Because I'm not somebody that says you need these fancy power supplies. They're just not needed in most cases. But it's not wrong to upgrade it. I'm just saying that you don't always need to. Ethan says I swapped my PSU 2 weeks ago. Upgrade from 1000 to 1650. Jesus, what are you doing on your PC? Probably got like 20 tabs of tentacle porn open at the same time. It's an Apevia. Okay, so Tristan, I understand, my friend. Yeah, I would change that as well. There's a brand here, you probably got it as well, called AeroCool. If I see an AeroCool integrator in any PC, I call it the ticking time bomb. But there are good cheap power supplies. Deepcool PF500 is pretty good. Yeah, I wouldn't be using a Apevia myself. Yeah. So if people are new to the stream, we are building a Intel i5 12400F build with a 3060. We've done quite a lot of it. We're just mounting it into the case, which is the Fractal Focus 2, and we'll show you the full lot later, the full reveal and everything, don't worry. We're just putting in some screws for now, having a chat. People are asking questions about their PC builds. It's just good vibes, man. I love this. It's great fun. Okay, so focus on that one, and then we shall put one in there. It doesn't matter what order you put these screws in, to be honest, as long as they're all lined up. You see how gentle I'm being, though, with the electronic. You do have to be careful. If you're just doing it manually by hand, then it doesn't matter. Like, you can just crank it, but you don't want to be using electronic equipment stripping all your standoffs and stuff. We've got Champika. Good to see you, my friend. Where are you viewing from today? We've got quite a lot of people from different places. I always love just hearing about other cultures and where people are from. It's always so interesting. So let me know where you're from. And next time I do this stream, I'll try, if I remember, I'll put it into the low latency mode so that the chat comes through a bit quicker, because I do appreciate there's a little bit of a delay. Yeah, I know. I heard about that Deepcool sanction. That sucks, because I love Deepcool products, man. I think they're fan. I've got so many of them, actually. I think they're great. They're really good quality. They look good and they're cheap. Hit it with a hammer, then it works. Trust. There will be no hammers going anywhere near this build, and if it is, you need to send the police around, because I've finally lost it. Right. I need one more motherboard screw. Where's it gone? I'm missing one motherboard screw, so I'm going to use this one instead. PC build is so satisfying. Yeah, it is, man. I've got loads of PC builds on the channel. I mean, this one's a bit more scuffed because it's live. Like, the cinematography isn't as good. But, oh! I found the screw. It was actually stuck to my other screwdriver. So let's just pop that last one in. Building PCs is really relaxing if you do it at a gentle pace. Like, sometimes during COVID, I sold so many PCs during COVID. You have no. I made £330,000 one year. It's just crazy. When you're building them that quick, it does take some of the joy out of it. But when you're just chilling on stream doing it sort of in your own time, it is good fun. It's very relaxing. Yeah. Where are the cable extents? Hang on, God, the chat's going crazy. So Tristan's saying, where are the cable extensions? These are EZ DIY Fab, which I think are a global brand, and they're quite good. And we got, I'm sorry, I still don't know how to pronounce those characters, so I always plug the PCIe card to one of the slots before screwing in the motherboard to make sure the motherboard position is correct. I mean, you could do that. I mean, I just look, and if they're all lined up, then you're good to go. Champika's from Sri Lanka, love that. Southeast Asian represent, fantastic. And Champika subscribe, love that, guys. If you're enjoying the stream, subscribe. We'll do more of these if people are subbing and liking. Yeah. Okay, right. So it's time to plug in some cables, I think. Dragon Ball Z themed. That's cool, man. That's cool. I love themed PCs. I don't do them because they're very niche. They take a long time to sell, but I do love watching them. Everyone hit the like, hit the sub. Right, so let's keep this train rolling because we are actually here to do a job, not just hang out. So next thing to do is to put the USB 3 in. Let me see if I can get you a better angle on that so you can actually see what we're doing. Luckily I've pre-routed this cable already, so it does make it a lot easier. So I can see that the notch is actually on the inside, which is a bit unusual. Like usually the notch bit is the other side, so you do have to be careful. So it's going to go in this way. That's weird, man. Most motherboards, they have the little the gap bit will be towards the right. That's so strange. Not that there's a problem, it's just caught me off guard a little bit. For anyone who's new in the chat, the spec is going to be, it's just an i5-12400F. It's just 32 gigabytes of RAM because my customer added another 16 at checkout. Sort of a cheap 1 terabyte SSD, and then we're going to put a RTX 3060 in it later. Yeah. I don't know what shows it strange. I call myself Clock Flipper. I'm gonna be careful saying that. I could say something dodgy. I do ever build custom loop. I did it. So I built custom loops twice. One time I did it with soft tubing, and I sold it locally, and that was fine. The other time I did it with hard tubing, and I shipped it, and that went terribly actually. So I wouldn't do it again, and I wouldn't recommend custom loops to anybody. They're just like a passion project for people to do if they're enthusiastic about PCs. But yeah, it popped up on the front page. I love that. Love that. Yeah, it's just like and sub, get more people in the chat. It's fantastic. 32 gigs is it kind of. I would agree. 32 gigs is the new standard. Yeah. Right. Let's get some other plugs in. So let's get this 24-pin motherboard in. That's already pre-routed quite nicely, so that's helpful. You're not going to be able to see this very well. Even I can't see this very well. So we're going to put that in, and then you always make sure it's crunched in properly. Beautiful. Spin around, get a better view there. So we've also got a fan cable here, so we could pop that into one of these fans here. So we just put that into system fan 1. Why not? So we've got a fan plugged there, so we're just going to plug it in. And if you're interested in PC build, guys, definitely subscribe, because we've got lots of PC builds, and the quality of the video is a lot better in the recorded ones. On this live stream, it's just me doing it as I talk, so it's not going to be as good. The reason why I went from 1000 to 1650 is because I upgraded my ring out of 4090 and upgraded to 5090. Wow. So the 5090 will be fine with a 1000 watt power supply, unless you've got like a 14900K. So if your CPU is pulling like over 200 watts, you're pushing it with a 1000 watt power supply. So Ryzen 9s or i9s and i7s, I would definitely be going with a 1200 watt. But for most people, you know, if you've got a 9800X3D and a 5090, then a 1000 watt power supply is going to be fine. And there aren't that many bad 1000 watt power supplies out there anyway, so it's unlikely you're going to get scammed. Okay, so the top half of this board is now done. Underrated channel. Thanks, JB. Thanks. That's very kind of you, my friend. I don't know where Candy is, Champika, unfortunately. I don't know it well. Is there a reason for the 4 sticks of RAM over just 2? So when I listed this on my website, it came with 16 gigs of RAM, but at the checkout, the customer upgraded to 32. So, and it's DDR4 now, so it's a bit older. So I just wanted to add sticks to it rather than have to replace the whole lot with 2x16. It also looks nicer, so that's another benefit. I've been checking out, looking some budget. So in 6 days' time, I've got a video scheduled with Arc B580 and Ryzen 7500F in the Lianli A3 case, which is like one of those compact wood-fronted cases. I would stick around for that. It's a real good video. It's a real nice build. The purple cable's nice. They look even better when they're plugged in. Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. DDR5 on 4 sticks is painful. So if you've got DDR5, I would really not go for 4 sticks because it's very hard to get it stable. Okay. I don't know why, to be honest. I don't know the technical reason, but I know practically that it doesn't go very well. Okay, so let's have a look here. So front panel connectors are next. These are so fiddly. But luckily, this case only comes with a power button. I love that. It just makes things so much easier. So we just put the one power button in there, and then you're done. I don't really like the power button to light up on cases. Like on my own PCs, I only ever put in the power plug and maybe the reset switch if there is one. 5090 power cable will melt. Well, maybe. I mean, I've never seen it happen, and I've built a lot of high-end PCs. The problem is when you see stuff online, stuff that gets clicks is always like really dramatic. So you do get a lot of that, unfortunately. Right, so we've got some fan plugs to put in. I'm gonna go from the furthest side so we can actually see what we're doing. So the first one will be the HD audio plug, which we've got here. So I can pop that in. You're not going to be able to see this, guys, very well. I'm sorry. These are so fiddly. Do you know these plugs are 100% the most annoying thing to film. It's so hard to get a clear shot of these when it's inside a case. I'm so paranoid now. I keep hearing the door go, and I think it's my Amazon delivery coming in. Oh, stay hydrated, guys, particularly if you're yapping all day. All right. So next will be the a RGB plug. So if I get this one first time, I'll be very impressed with myself. Oh my God, that's 2 for 2 ARGB plugs in first time. That never happens. That never happens. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Ray. That's okay. I tried to show you, but like, the amount of effort would be inordinate. I'm sure somebody's at the door. I'm just going to check my camera. No, it's not. It's actually just my cat digging through his litter tray. 12-volt high power can melt. Yeah, well, the thing is, Mike Games, yes, the 12-volt high power can melt, but it's like 3 cases out of hundreds of thousands. So I know it shouldn't happen, but it's so unlikely to happen. I've never seen it happen. The problem is you need to plug it in all the way. I hate the connector. I think it's trash. I really don't like the 12-volt high power, but equally, I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and say that everyone's stuff is going to burn down, because it's just plainly not true. Yeah, the problem with it was that the 8-pin was clunky, and you're going to start needing like 4 8-pin plugs. It's just way too much. It's really clunky. So they did need another connector. It's just a shame that the one that they used was so trash. I kind of want to throw my PC out the window for views, then get my new one. Well, the thing is, Space, you've got to be careful, because you don't earn that much from YouTube ads. Like, these people that do making lots of money on YouTube, they have other businesses that they're making money from. Like Optimum Tech, for example, he does not make his money from YouTube. He doesn't even have ads turned on. I reckon he has a lot of crypto money, and that's why he's got the McLaren in the background and the fancy stuff. He's probably an early crypto investor, I think. Okay, so I'll answer a couple more and then get back to the build. So Darius says, I just upgraded my Aorus X370 using R5 2600, 5600, or go for AM5. Brett, well, it depends on what you want to do. Personally, if you're happy with everything else in your system, then I would just upgrade to 5800X3D or 5700X3D. Then you're going to really max out the performance that you're going to get on AM4. And it still keeps up nowadays. It doesn't have to be the latest stuff to work for you. So if you're building, getting a new graphics card, getting new everything, then go for AM5. But if you're keeping everything else, then yeah, stick on AM4. Get a 5700X3D or 5800X3D. Is the Corsair CX750 a good pickup? Yes, it's a decent power supply. It's fine. It's not modular, but I think it's 80 plus bronze, I think. It'd be fine. Yeah, that would be more than enough for the specs that you've listed. A 500 watt would be fine for that, but the 750 will give you more upgrade choices in the future. Yeah. Yeah, it's like 7 years old. You'd be surprised what older tech can still do. Right, so let's crack on with some more building. Right, so last thing is this fan cable here. Oh, it's a 3-pin DC fan. That sucks. Oh well. Beggars can't be choosers, as they say. This is a little bit of a stretch. Okay. I do need to finish this PC today. I can't keep chatting too much because it needs to be boxed up and shipped, dispatched tomorrow, because the customer is waiting. And I don't like to wait too long before shipping them out. I like to get them on the move. So, some random nobody. Let's zoom out. So, we assembled the platform, B760. We put in the 12400F CPU, Thermalright Assassin X cooler, 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, and then we put it into our case. This is the Fractal Focus 2 case. I'll give you a proper show reel of it later once it's all fully built. So the last things to put in now are the Wi-Fi card and the graphics card, and then we're done. Other problem with 12-pin connectors are going one path and another turns. Yeah. The market has slowed down, Roman. I agree, my friend. The case looks so... Yeah, but you haven't... No, this case is beautiful. It just doesn't look good from where we are now. When I set it up, it looks really good. I don't like the case. I would never use it again because of the cable management, which we'll see in a minute, but it is a nice looking case. I like the looks from an air-cooled system too, man. I'm digging it more than the liquid coolers nowadays. But the liquid coolers are still very popular with the customers. Right, let's park the app in for a minute. Let's put up a PCI Wi-Fi card. We'll put it in the bottom slot here. So we've got our Wi-Fi PCIe card here. And that's the antenna, so put that aside. And it's also got Bluetooth in it as well, so the Bluetooth is controlled via this USB cable. Okay, so this is a USB 2.0, so we'll plug that in first. Make it easier to reach everything. Boom. And then we can put the other end into the PCIe card here. And then we'll put that into the lowest slot. But of course, we're going to have to release the bottom slot cover. I think my electronic screwdriver's running out of battery. Keep having to flick it on and off. Go and charge it in a minute. Okay. Oh, now I need to turn the torque up because I turned it down, didn't I, for the motherboard. Case swap, the XPG mesh case. Oh, I think I used one called the XPG Defender A-Data case. That was pretty decent. I didn't know they made that anymore. Oh, Valor mesh. Never heard of that one. Interesting. But there's so many good cheap cases now. Like, they used to be that cheap cases were awful, but they're okay now. So let's put in our Wi-Fi card. So line it up there. In you go, come on. There we go. Perfect. I'll give you guys a better view of that in a second. So in the UK, I get these cases called Vida Akira, and I did a build on the channel. It's called something like, can you do 1440p gaming for 800 bucks or something? That case is amazing, but I think it's UK only, unfortunately. What happens when you shoot a PC that's still running? I think it's like if you shoot a human that's still running, they stop running. Okay, so stuff this cable in behind. So we'll just push that loop through, hide that cable a little bit. So this is the problem with this case, man. It doesn't have a PSU cover on the top. So you can see all the cables, kind of sucks. The rest of the case looks so nice though, such a missed opportunity from Fractal. All right, I'm assuming the motherboard would just stop the system. That's a good question. It's not a good question. Is it a good question? I'm not sure about that. All right then. So we're getting there. Let's get the GPU in. I'll show you the GPU, seeing as we've probably got a lot of new people watching now. I'm loving the viewership, guys. 21 viewers is amazing. 21 more than I expect. So let me get my face out of the shot so it focuses. Gigabyte RTX 3060. It's from my old stock. You can't really buy these anymore, I don't think, but I've got a lot of old stock that I'm clearing, so this PC I'm actually making a loss on it, but I need to get rid of it. I made a wish list for 900 bucks, 9600. As long as that 9060 XT is the 16 gigabyte version, not the 8 gigabytes, that's a great little spec, yeah. Your system has a 5019 shoot, the bullet would probably ricochet in the PC. Yeah, maybe, it depends on the cooler. All they had to do is put a proper power supply basement in the case. Yeah, I completely agree, Roman. It's so, honestly, Fractal make beautiful cases. They fucked this up. They really, really fucked this up. They could have done so much for a better job. Okay, so let's get the GPU in. Always put your GPU in the top slot, but everyone knows that. But I've seen someone come in and they put it in down here. I was like, what are you doing, brother? Yeah, 3060 is okay for 1080p. It's quite good for like content creation as well because of the VRAM. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Max. Start YouTube in 2012. Be like, how old do you think I am? Friends don't let friends buy 8 gig GPUs. Yeah, I mean, 8 gig's fine for 1080p. but 1440p it is going to struggle. So it depends what your goal is, doesn't it? If you play, you know, Valorant or something, or Overwatch, 8 gig's going to be fine. But if you're going to play big open world games and things, then you are going to struggle. That's why the Intel Arc is, for me, is such a good deal, because it's like £230, 12 gigs of VRAM. You think I'm 50, 90 years old? You looking to get banned? I don't, honestly. I shouldn't say this, but I actually have no idea how to ban people from the chat, so I just hope you all behave yourself. Okay, I think you just right-click on them from the list, but I don't know. I haven't had to do it yet, and hopefully I won't have to do it. Okay. So Darius, the drivers are a lot better now. It's only certain games where it doesn't do very well, so... Call of Duty Warzone, I didn't think that Arc B580 was particularly impressive, but everything else was okay. 34, that's pretty close. I'm 31, so that's pretty close. What you're supposed to say, Roman, is you look 25. That's what you're supposed to say to anyone that looks remotely young. That's how old you look. Right. So just going to pop this sleeved cable in. There we go, looking pretty nice. All right, let's just, so we're actually built, aren't we? So we just need to check the cables on the back, and then we're good. YouTube in the beginning was like that. Oh, I see, yeah. I do miss a bit of old YouTube, man. It's quite produced now, isn't it? It used to be a bit more raw. Okay. So we are going to flip this over. Roman is 94 years old. Call it is, yes, that's correct, Darius. It is the Thermalright Assassin X120. You are absolutely right. Well spotted. No monetization, pure enthusiasm. Yeah, no such like. See, I don't monetize these streams because they're just for fun. So nobody should be getting any ads when they load this stream up because I turn them off. Okay, so tell you what, I'm going to take you off the tripod and we can have a look. So you can tell me, this is the problem with the Fractal Focus 2. It's just awful for cable management. Look at that, because what I've had to do is take all the cables through to the back because there's no PSU cover. I don't want the customer seeing a load of cables in the back, in the front of their case, so I've had to sort of put them all in here somewhere. This is utterly atrocious for a Fractal case. I expect a lot more from them. So yeah, it's killing my eyes as well. But I spent a lot of time doing this. This is the best way. This is the only way I can get the bloody back panel to actually close. So Fractal Focus 2 is so close to being great, but I can't recommend it because of this terrible cable management. You don't even have that much like thickness to get it in. Look, it's all really tight. So yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. Back on the tripod you go. Now, Max, last time you told me that I'm not allowed to put the panel on. But you know, sometimes when you play with fire, you're looking to get burned. So I'm going to put the panel on now. And I know this is going to trigger a lot of you, but it's fine. Right, so it's a hook on the bottom type, then you push it there, and you look at that. See, the cable management was good enough to get the panel on anyway. Yeah, I agree, Raymond, mate. Oh, a few chats that I've missed up there. So, yeah, spaghetti. Exactly. That's all. But that's all you can do with that cable management. I don't have any other ideas. Good heavens, that's funny. Wonder why the heat generating chemicals are built on the bottom side of the GPU card. Nice to have them on the top side. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I think GPU cooling, they've kind of sorted it now. I don't ever get any problems with GPU thermals, even on cheap cards. Cooling Master Hyper 212 and the Be Quiet Pure Rock Pro 3. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty overkill cooling solution, but I'm sure it worked great. I was forced to use premium. Google use. Yeah, I've got premium as well. It's worth it. I watch a lot of YouTube, and just having the background play was worth it. So yeah, and you can do family sharing with other people as well to get the price down. or use a VPN to get it even cheaper. Although I wouldn't recommend the VPN method anymore. It used to be really good, but now they clamp down on it. Right, I think the Amazon guy might be here. I'm looking on my security cam. So the back panel is on, so all we need to do is actually just test this thing out, don't we? I will not curse his ring. Don't, Max, you can't say that. You're tempting fate, my friend. My GPU starts screaming for more games. Also because of coil. Yeah, coil whine sucks, man. There's not really much you can do about it. You can change your power supply. You can not use daisy-chained cables for the power supply. That sometimes helps, but it's often just unavoidable. I hate RGB, so I put tons of it on my main rig. That's because, Ethan, you are what we call a masochist, my friend. Oh, hang on, I've got a parcel. Right, I am back. Please don't leave the stream. I'm trying to retrieve my lav mic, so you're probably hearing a load of shit. Oh, right. Okay, lav mic is back. What have we missed? So, what price did I get the 3060? It's old stock. I've had it for a while. I paid £300 for it, which sucks, but that's what happens sometimes. No Man's Sky. Yeah, so I just I bought Battlefield 6. Well, actually, the company bought Battlefield 6 for benchmarking, and if I happen to play it, then that's fine. The thing is, Space, yeah, everyone has their preference, so I'm not going to bash anyone for what they do, but my PC, I can't even see it. I have it strapped underneath my desk, so I can't even see it anyway. Okie dokie, right. Okay, so I think we can fire this thing up now. Let's have a look. So I will leave the glass panel off. All right, Max? I will leave the glass panel off just to stroke your ego. And then what we'll do is we'll get a portable screen here. We can make sure that everything's working. I tried using the capture card before, but it wasn't happening any of it. It won't work. The panels. Everyone says that. I'm just baiting. I'm debating you. Let's see. Right. Okay, so we've got a little portable screen here. It's just easier to have this for the desk. Makes a lot more sense. So USB for power. So, you know, we did a stream yesterday as well, and the PC didn't work initially. So I had to do a BIOS update and some other bits, and it eventually did work. Nothing was broken. But we all had a mini panic attack, so let's hope that this one works a lot better. This is where they press the power button, nothing happens. Well, hopefully not. I mean, I haven't plugged in the power yet, so it won't actually work just yet. Okay. Oh, just dropped my capture card on the floor. Perfect. Okay, so the power is on. I saw a little flick, so that usually is a good sign. What else do we need? Keyboard and mouse, don't we? Okay. Right, so I've got all my various USBs, and I've got my keyboard and mouse on this. Then I actually have to go and get the physical keyboard and mouse, and then we're good to turn on. The buzzer. I'm not. I put the panels on. It's too late now. I've already jinxed it. Max, listen. We worked it out that it was a combination. The reason the last PC didn't boot was a combination of needed a BIOS update and also that the 12-volt high power cable had come loose. So that's what happened last time. For everyone else that's wondering. Okay. So let me just put the focus area on that little screen there. And then I'll go and get the keyboard and mouse. Well, it's a permaban this time. It wasn't a very permanent permaban, was it? You're still here. Okay. Moment of truth. We have colours. That's a good first sign. Will we get display? This one has an EZ debug LED, by the way, which is a lot easier. Well, look, Space, I've debated you now. It's too late. It's too late. I can see it's on the VGA light, so that's usually a good sign. Show me something. Show me something. Yes. See? See? We're good. I never bother with this like stuff about panels. If you're a hobbyist, then yeah, but the amount of time I'd waste like having to put panels and stuff back on. Right, capture cards never seem to work, so I'm just going to zoom you in onto that screen and we'll set up everything that we need. And then we'll get a view of the whole build in a bit. Maybe once I update the BIOS or something. I think this SSD already has Windows on it, but I'm actually going to clean it and reinstall it and everything anyway. So, because it's probably a very old Windows installation. Yeah, PogChamp, baby. PogChamp. Right, it will look, there we go. Beautiful. Okay. So it's working. So a few things we need to do is update the BIOS. Why don't we just create the BIOS USB here? It's going to be easier, isn't it? Get you a bit closer, because this camera is only 720p because I haven't got my capture card set up yet, so it's going to be a little bit fuzzy. I apologise about that. Once we get the drivers installed, we can run it through the capture card if you want. Get that Windows. Yeah, I mean Windows 10's out of support now, baby. So what are you going to do? Air 100. You know what? I might have done. Darius, have a look on the channel. Search for it. I'm sure I've done a couple of Montech Air builds, so probably. So Atham, that's not correct. If you use Rufus to create your USB, then you can still bypass the internet. Don't use the Microsoft official installer, use Rufus. That's the way to do it. But I agree, it's that Microsoft thing, man, of needing a Microsoft account does my head in. Okay, so we will just connect to Wi-Fi. Yeah, I always use Rufus because you can bypass all the privacy questions as well, so it's certainly preferable. Okay, so let's just might as well, seeing as we've got this one up, rather than use my laptop to make the BIOS USB. So what do we want? We want B760, oh, I can't remember what this one is. B760P DDR4 MSI. Pro B760P, it's not the Wi-Fi, we don't want the Wi-Fi version, we just want the regular. Oh god, Bing sucks, doesn't it? Honestly. This one doesn't have Wi-Fi built in, does it? Have I just added a Wi-Fi card? No, it doesn't. It doesn't have Wi-Fi. B760P DDR, oh, DDR4 2. That's why it's not coming up. That's the one. Although their Google Bing result says PRB rather than Pro. Sort it out, MSI. Oh, go. Oh, honestly, these privacy things, man. I've got Surfshark VPN, so it blocks all that stuff. So annoying. Right, drivers down into BIOS. So that's a beta BIOS, I think. Oh no, that's a beta BIOS. So actually, that's not a beta BIOS. Let's just get this one. Beautiful. And then we'll plug in our USB that we're going to use for the BIOS. I will get to your chat messages in just a second. Get rid of that old Asus one on there. We don't need that anymore. And we won't use the flashback button. We'll just do it in the BIOS because why not? What? Yeah, I agree, Darius. They are both. Yeah. Chrome delete Edge, save the customer. Yeah, well, that's the customer's choice. My philosophy on this is that it's their PC. They can do what they want with it. Project Zero boards robot. Yeah, I'm looking to do a project, and I've just got so many projects coming up that I don't have time at the moment. Yeah, man, the dark mode is the way to go. Completely agree. Right, so that BIOS file is done. So let's just get into the BIOS, restart, and we'll just mash the delete key as we go. Yeah, Rufus. Yeah, I agree. I always use Rufus. It's way better. I don't use MBR though, I do use GPT because the MBR can have problems later on when you try to upgrade to like another service pack or something. God, it's taken a little while to restart, isn't it? Jeez, come on. It's probably because it's trying to do some Windows update or something. I'm tempted just to hold the power button down, if I'm quite honest. 6 guys just gone, have they? Well, I don't know, mine says concurrent viewers 21, so who knows? Oh, this is taking so long. It's got to be Windows Update. I'm going to be reinstalling Windows anyway, so I'm just going to power it down. Mashing the delete key. I mean, I can't think of any reason to use MBR rather than GPT. I think the GPT is more compatible, and I do value stability, so, you know, I don't know. Okay, so we're in the BIOS. Let's go to mflash, and then we can update the BIOS. Yeah, Darius, Matt, I know, AM4. AM4 is the gift that keeps on giving, huh? It's so good. Right, I'm hurting my back here, so I'm going to bring the table back up to stand height again. And then I'll have to adjust the other cam. There we go. Perfetto. Okay, so I got it there already. Great. So I do want to select that file. There we go. This will take a little while. Oh, that's very fast for a BIOS update. Jesus, that doesn't usually go that fast. Space, honestly, I love MSI motherboards. So when AM4 days, I used to basically only use MSI boards because the BIOS is so clean, they're fuss-free. AM5, their Gaming Plus B650 is really good, but it doesn't have an integrated I/O shield, which is really annoying. Like when you do lots of builds, having an integrated I/O shield rather than having to clip one in like we've done today saves you so much bother. So I now just use Gigabyte mainly because they're the best price, but I don't have any brand loyalty of any kind. Yeah, Windows updates have never enthralled me either, Max. I'm actually, look how fast this BIOS update is. That's way too, I've never seen it go that fast. I'm very impressed. So Darius, all motherboards on AM5, they all have to have BIOS flashback, every single one. It's a requirement for the platform. So every AM5 board, I think every AM5 board, definitely every B and X series board, they all have to have BIOS flashback. It's a requirement for the chipset. So that's something to note. Damn, standing at the edge of the frame are wide. Look how big my biceps look. Got to get yourselves gym membership, guys, or just stand at the edge of a camera so they look bigger. That's the other hack. Okay, so the BIOS update has completed. So let's run through a little thing that we used to do. So this is a Intel board, so we'll run the XMP profile. I'll just check that those profiles are sensible. So we've got the 3600 CL18 or the 3200 CL16, both essentially the same. So I don't really care which one we use. We'll just use the XMP profile 1. Let's set some fan curves. MSI BIOS has by far the best fan curve editor because it tells you the RPMs at the top, so you just click on the ones that you need. It's so much better. So I usually just set a curve like this. I mean, you can tweak this to your liking. You can use an app called Fan Control on Windows if you think that's better. There's, you know, you can do it any way that you like, but something like this is pretty good. System fan 1, I think that was PWM, wasn't it? Yeah. So we can, oh no, I've just clicked out of it. Nightmare. Right, system 1. So this can be PWM. Something along those lines is fine. I mean, you can tweak it however you like. And then system 4, I remember that being a DC plug, so I'll have to use DC control for that one. Oh man, the MSI fan controller is so much better than the others. It's just much more responsive, so much better. Mixed RAM equals good things. Absolutely not. Space is competing with... I love the spicy hot takes in the comments. Okay, so other things that we can do to improve our quality of life is make sure that TPM and Secure Boot are enabled because you'll need that for a lot of games. So they're going to be in different places everywhere. I think if we go to Advanced, we should find it somewhere. Oh, I can't remember where it is in MSI. I haven't used an MSI board for a while. Will it be under... which one of these? I'm just going to have to look at all of them, aren't I? Boot, maybe? Looking for Secure Boot there. I can't see it. Someone will know in the chat where it is on an MSI board. Nope. Super IO, power management, secure erase, NPM. Where is it? Where is TPM and Secure Boot in MSI BIOS? Integrated peripherals, maybe? Oh, this is real annoying. Can you search on an MSI board? No. So, I don't think it's under any of those. Under security, oh yeah, it could be. Is there a security one? Whoops, not boot. Usually you're right, it is normally under security. Oh, it's there! Oh, you genius! Yes, it is. Okay, so TPM is enabled, and then we'll need Secure Boot as well. So where's Secure Boot? That was probably under boot, isn't it? Fast boot enabled. I don't want that. We can disable that in Windows, we'll leave it. Oh, Secure Boot, oh, it's still under security as well, there you go. So it's enabled and it's standard, perfect. Perfect. It's in the recycle bin. Move around ASRock. Yeah, well, Atham, I like ASRock as well. So they offer good value for money, ASRock. Their BIOS is gross, I hate it. But it's functional, so that's all that matters. This X3D CPU thing, it's been fixed by a BIOS update, and I've never seen it. Again, it's one of those things that's a very small number of people, but it makes for like good YouTube videos because it's controversial, so don't always listen to that stuff. Yeah, maybe, you know what, there's advantages and disadvantages to every BIOS, isn't there? What I like, the main reason I like MSI BIOS is because the fan curve thing, it's a lot easier to use. Right, so why don't we just save a profile anyway? You don't have to do this, but it can sometimes help. Cool. Right, let's plug in our Windows 11 USB. Use our Rufus one, and we can reinstall Windows. Hey, it's not just Riot. They all seem to need it now. Honestly, like every single game seems to need it for some reason. I think it's because the anti-cheat works better, doesn't it? Nuclear, just want to ask if my grandma gifted me a 96 XT. Amazing, but my processor Ryzen 526. Yeah, that's still going to be. No, it won't bottleneck at 10. Okay, it will bottleneck, but will it matter? Like, are you hitting the frame rates that you need? If you're hitting the frame rates that you need, then the bottleneck is irrelevant. But Space is right. It is a bottleneck, but a bottleneck isn't inherently a problem. It's just an observation. So if the system is doing what you need it to do, then leave it. That would be my wisdom. So we'll save and exit the BIOS, and then we'll boot onto the Windows USB. But you will get more out of that graphics card with a better CPU. That is true. But if it's achieving your goal, then it doesn't matter. The whole point of you buying hardware and doing stuff is to achieve a certain goal. You could do that, Mike. You're right. You could do that, but the problem is you have to set that up every time that Windows updates, and it's not very onerous because I use the Rufus install, so it bypasses all the crap basically. So it's a really quick install. Yeah, see, Roman's in there with the good advice. That's when you upgrade. You upgrade when it no longer hits your requirements, basically. Now I saw it reboot. I hope it's not tried to boot back onto the SSD. I'll be very upset if it has. Oh God, MSI, sort it out. Oh, it's going to take bloody ages to restart. Oh no, it's not. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. Just chill. Just chill, computer surgeon. It's fine. I hate it when MSI does that. That's one of the things they do that's really annoying, is that you select the boot device and then it reboots the computer, then you have to reselect the boot device every time. Come on. Put me on the USB. Put me on the USB. Do it, baby. Well, now it's not doing anything, which makes me worried that my USB's bonked, but we'll see. I did put it into a hub, so it's probably my fault. You don't see anything new update, so just make a new USB, copy the file in there again, then we'll work on Rufus. Oh, is it? Okay, I'll be interested to know about that. Cool, so here we are. English, United Kingdom. Yes, I agree. We'll add the product key later. One of the problems with having a cheaper SSD in your build is that things like this are going to take a little bit longer, with a bit more loading in between. I have to actually look up what name the customer wants on the build as well. I don't even know what a QPU is. Couldn't tell you. All right, so we've got a load of crap here. So when you're reinstalling Windows, I would just use the command prompt. Oh, can't spell. Disk part. This disk. So it looks like it's probably going to be disk 0, but we can use detail disk, and we can see that that's our Kingston. So we know that that's correct. We're going to clean, and then we're going to convert to GPT, and then we're going to exit, and then we're going to refresh, and there will just be unallocated space on disk 0 now, hopefully. I have a meeting at work, you have to go. See you later, Roman. Thanks for joining the chat, my friend. Always good to see you. Yes, Raz, your GPU is an enormous upgrade from an RX 580. It's going to change your life. Yeah, I agree, Mike. Yeah, you've got to be careful because especially if you put multiple drives in. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Okay, cool. So that's going to install for a minute. My face cam has run out of battery, so I'm just going to go and get a cable to plug it in. Leave this to run for a second. Yeah, I tried to do a sys prep thing before Mike Games, but I couldn't really get it to work reliably, and the amount of time I invested into it, I didn't feel like it was worth it at the time. Right, I'm just plugging in my USB for the A cam. Well, it's telling me battery exhausted, so I need to let it charge for a minute, I think. Taking one of those files out the official way admittedly takes a long time, yeah. Yeah, that's true. The problem I have with Mike Games is that it works for a bit, and then Microsoft changes the way that Windows works or something, and then it balks the whole thing, so I've just taken it on the chin, really. That's all I can say. So I just do it. What PC would you recommend for a VR build for 600? 600 is a tough budget, my friend. That's a tough budget. You could probably get like a RX 7600 graphics with a Ryzen 7500F, and the rest of it will be in fairly cheap stuff. Probably do the job. That's the only way I can see you hitting that price point realistically. Maybe, but I guess those businesses have they have people that do that all the time. Yeah, you could go use GPU. It's another good idea. Yeah, I'll just go steal a PC. Yeah, even better. Don't steal it from my shop though. Can you buy my dude? Dude. Vaporware. You were so close to baiting me then. Until you told me about PNY, really rare now, no negotiations. I was honestly, you had me hook, line and sinker. I know what I've got. Honestly, the Facebook Marketplace experience in 2025, right? 1660 Ti. Do you know what? The 1660 Super, one of my favourite GPUs ever, actually. One of my favourites. Oh, this Windows has taken ages to install. Maybe what we'll do is we'll actually have a look at our completed build whilst Windows is installing. The reason this is taking so long is because it's got a Kingston NV2 SSD in it, which is not the best SSD. The 800 pound mile 1300, it's 4080 laptop. Hey, that's a good price, isn't it? I think that's wow, that's great. I mean, I've got a 4070 laptop with an i7 something, and that cost me like £1,100. So you're good. Dude, that's a find. Honestly, edge of the frame. Look at the size of the biceps, bro. Yeah, really good on laptop. It's good, isn't it? Go buy if he says dual CPU socket is really rare. Price is $70,000. All right, let's have a look at the PC. What do you think about the new Ultra 5 low budget seat? Yeah, they're all right. You know, the thing is, people slag Intel off, but it's only bad if the price is bad. If the price is good, then it's good. You just lose out on some upgradability and other features, don't you? You know, I think like the Ultra 7 265K, that's good for creators. It's not that great for gamers. You're probably better off on Ryzen for the upgradability, but for creators, you probably really like the Ultra 7s and the Ultra 9s. Performance is temporary, rarity is forever, yeah. That's like form is temporary, class is permanent, right? That's what they used to say for sports. Right, let's have a look then. I'll change you over to the other cam. We'll have a proper look at the PC that we finished, because Windows has taken about 1,000,000 years to install. So I'll take you off the tripod. I think this case looks great. It's not going to come out very well on the live stream because I'm using this camera with USB rather than a capture card. But I think it's decent. Right, let me just adjust the exposure so you can actually see it properly. There we go. So it doesn't look bad. I know you can see through it a lot on the camera. You can't see through it quite as much in real life. The colours aren't matched up because we haven't installed any RGB software yet, but I think it's looking decent. The problem is with this case is obviously that basement there, it's not covered when we put the glass panel back on, so I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks decent. It's such a wasted potential, this case, because it's actually really nice apart from the cable management. That's what lets it down. Yeah. See what people are saying. Yeah, AMD usually does have a better alternative at the same price point. Most of the time, you're right. AM4 Circuit Series motherboard. So don't get that GT. No way. No. Don't get anything with a G in it. You've already got a graphics card. You don't need that. So 5700 or 5700X, great choices. You'll have a great time with those. 5700X 3D, 5800X 3D if you can stretch to it. I don't like custom cables being in the not high budget PCs. Well, that, my friend, is what sells PCs, unfortunately, is the looks of it. So you do have to do that. When is my Amazon parcel coming? I've been waiting for it all afternoon. I'm paranoid that they're going to keep coming to the door while I'm on the stream. Yeah, 3200G is good for like a general use PC. That's fine. Does this case have a mesh cover option? Glass cover? You mean, so the front is mesh. The front is mesh. The side is glass. I don't think it comes with a mesh option. I think it comes with a solid panel option. But don't buy this case, it's terrible. Please don't buy it. Performance is great, looks are great, cable management, terrible. Terrible. Okay, so why don't we put the glass panel on and I'll show you what I mean. He only pays Fallout a bit of Skyrim and overspent still. Yeah, that's alright though. Yeah. What do we say? If it achieves what you set out to do with it, it's a good PC. That's all that matters. Track your package in the Amazon app. I mean, I could, but where would be the fun, intrigue, and desire? And those things aren't that. Actually, they kind of are accurate, aren't they, when they're really close? Do you use Signal RGB? Yes, pretty much exclusively use Signal RGB. The only time I wouldn't use Signal is if there's an LCD screen, because you can't usually customize those with Signal. You can launch, it's about as good as an Xbox. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, so Raz, you're already on a 5600. I wouldn't bother upgrading on AM4 at all. I would just save up money and get AM5. You're not going to get that much of a benefit if you've already got a 5600. Okay. I'm getting paranoid, keep checking. Just people trying to play COD Warzone with me, and I'm absolutely not doing that. Okay, let me get the other cam. So, we'll take the heel off. Don't worry, we always put these back on for the customer so they can do it themselves when they're at home. And then I'll pop it over there. Oh, right. So, it might be a bit hard to see with the reflection, but so you see it's got this bar across here, so it hides it from like this view. It looks like a normal case, right? But when you look down, you'll notice that it doesn't actually cover anything. It's just a little plate across the front. So, you know, the other option for the cable management is to have a lot of your cables just sat in the bottom here, but I think that looks terrible. I think it looks really bad. So they really could have just put a PSU cover on this one and made it an amazing case. And it's usually Fractal are so good. Like I'm so surprised that they really kind of balls this one up. because I think the look of it is great. I would have even made it one of my staple cases if it just had better cable management. So there you go. Looking decent. Right, so Windows, how are we doing? So, oh, there we go, so we're ready. So I'm going to put this back on the tripod and we'll set up Windows. I'm nearly done. I'm so stoked with the viewership today, guys. 20 people watching. That's incredible. I'm so happy. If you're new and you're enjoying the stream, please like and subscribe. The reason is that's how YouTube knows that you like it. If you just watch it, that's decent as well. But YouTube, like if you liking the content and you think it's worth viewing, then certainly you should be letting them know by using the like and subscribe. Okay, just setting up the screen view. Okay. Via Discord, a drop in next thing. 2 minutes. Okay. I know. Well, the problem is with the Discord. I don't know how much. I don't have enough of an audience to run a Discord, and I just don't think it would be worth it yet. But I get the idea of it. AP2, an option to get glass side panel or mesh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That is another option. I mean, you don't need 100% mesh for good airflow. In fact, actually, a solid panel is sometimes better. Right, you off. See you later, Space. Good to have you in the stream. You're here for ages, bro. Love it. Okay, so let's get Windows set up with the beautiful bright white that is probably burning everybody's retinas right now. Okay, so when you use the Rufus, you have this option here, but I don't have internet. That's what you want to use. Set up a local account instead of a Microsoft account. It just makes things a lot more elegant. I'm just going to look and see what the customer name was that they wanted on the PC. Okay, cool. Don't worry, I'm not going to dox them. I mean, I'm just going to put their first name in, so it's fine. I just bought a gaming laptop to replace my older budget gaming PC, and it's awesome. Well, that's good. You know what? There's lots of this stuff about like laptop versus PC, console versus PC. I don't care what you have. All I care is if you're enjoying it. If it's giving you the experience you want, great, have fun with it. Okay, so that's good, that's done. We won't put a password on it. The user can do that later. And then because of Rufus, you don't have to answer any of the BS questions. It just takes you straight in. Amazing stuff. Oh, so 11 Pro does have local account options. That's interesting. Interesting. Okay. So the bypass NRO doesn't work anymore. That's so annoying. Why would they take that out? Honestly, they're little goblins, aren't they? They need like all of your data. It's not enough that we do everything on their PCs already. They want us to just give them everything. Blood of the Firstborn will be the next requirement to install Windows. Laptop is a crutch mainly for me to get through college. Yeah. So the other benefit of the laptop is you're going to be able to do your college work on it. You can go over to the library, you can do it. Whereas PC is you're not really going to be able to do that. So, you know, there are obviously benefits to laptops. I'm streaming off a laptop now. You know, it's not that it's one or the other. Okay, almost there. Right. Anything anybody wants us to test while we're here? I could probably do this for another 15 to 30 minutes, so I haven't got too much longer. Can you OC the 12400F? Oh, you might be able to do bass frequency boost. Sure, we'll have a look in a minute, shall we? Probably can. Probably can. Should we connect to internet or should we install the drivers first? Let's install the drivers first. It can actually it can run 96,000 pics of furry memes alongside 4 tentacle porn videos. So it's a pretty sweet CPU actually. That's one of its main selling points. Oh, that ain't one of the requirements. Okay, so we're gonna plug in. I've got a SSD and an enclosure that I have all my drivers on, so it makes things a lot faster. I hope that cable that I've used is a data cable. It is, great. Okay, so tool. We don't need AMD chipset drivers because it's not AMD, but we do need graphics for NVIDIA. So I'll copy that over. What else can we use from here? We'll copy over the benchmarks as well. It's got a NAS, but yeah, dude. I've got a NAS as well. It's amazing, so much better than I used to have just plugged into my router and use the NAS that way, but with a proper NAS you can get your files anywhere. It's fantastic. I do recommend it if you use a lot of files. I think gaming laptops is mostly compromised. Well, it is, yeah, of course it is. But you also get the screen included, keyboard and mouse included, so it's a different value proposition essentially. All right, so we'll leave that to copy you for a minute. Anyway, it's going to deal with me going ahead and leaving my PC on sleep after age. A bit on bend. One of the problems that people do is they never turn their PC off. They put it into sleep mode all the time. You do need to just restart your PC every once in a while. I need to set up something so I can access my files outside my LAN. They've just been doing. Yeah, so I've got a Ugreen, and the Ugreen you can access it from anywhere. You just log in. Yeah, that's fine. What's wrong with that, Vaporware? No problem. Okay, so we just install the NVIDIA stuff. I do put the NVIDIA app on because it's just easier for the customers to use, so we'll do that. Another little tweak is to go into Edit Power Plan. Change this to whatever you want. I just put it to an hour. And then you go to choose what the power buttons do, change the settings, and then turn off the fast startup. So uncheck this top box and save it. The reason is that if you don't do that, when you shut your PC down, it will store some of the PC's state in RAM, and I prefer to completely flush the system when shutting down the PC, so that's why I do that. Alright, see you later, Vaporwave. Good to see you. Hopefully join in the next one. You better subscribe or I'm coming after you. I know where your NAS lives, and I know what's on it. I did it DIY. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, I just bought a Ugreen because I couldn't be bothered. You could definitely do it DIY though. Computers no longer takes minutes to start up like they used to. If I didn't use sleep mode, always shut down. Yeah. Yeah, they don't take a long time to boot up, you're right. I mean, DDR5, it does take a bit longer to boot than DDR4, but that's okay. Enable end task on the right mouse. Oh, T-Wart, how do you do that? I won't do it on this computer, but I do want to know how to do that. That's very handy. The other thing is Power Toys is another really good app as well, because it's got something called File Locksmith, so it will tell you which apps are using a file. Very handy if you can't delete something. Go to the developer settings. All right, well, I'll have a look on my actual PC later. That's a good little tip. The other thing you could do is turn off mouse acceleration as well, but I'll leave that up to the customer if they want to do that. It's totally up to them. Look how long it's taken to install this graphics driver. This is why you don't use a cheap SSD. I don't use those cheap Kingston SSDs anymore. This is the last one I've got in the shop from an old build. Do you like Windows 10 or 11 more? I don't really care. I haven't noticed any difference between them at all. I think Windows 10 was a bit simpler, and a lot of people prefer simpler things. I think 10 was fine. I think 11's okay-ish. What I don't like about it is how much they're invading your privacy and how much data collection they're doing off you all the time. But I don't think that's anything to do with Windows 11. I think if we were still on 10, they would still be doing that. So I don't really care. They're both the same to me. HDD was so ass that fresh start was loaded to 100% 20 to 30 minutes. That is some trash tier hard drive. Even for hard drive, that's way too slow. Okay. All right, so that's installed. So we can connect to the internet now. I try to put as many of the drivers on as I can before connecting to the internet, just because it's a bit cleaner. Windows has a habit of trying to install graphics drivers for you, and it doesn't do a very good job. Okay, so we have connected, and now we can just go and sync everything up, sync the time. We can go to Windows Update. So the specs are, yeah, for anyone else that's watching, it's we've got an i5-12400F, air cooler, RTX 3060, and 32 gigabytes of DDR4. It's just like an old build that I've had lying around for a while, so I've discounted it quite heavily, making a loss on it, but I just need to get it out the door because it's 30 series, it's too old now, it just needs to go. The longer it sits around, the more value it's going to lose, so I just have to take the hit on the unsold PC and just sell it at a cheap price. Windows anti-malaise at 96. You kill it 3 times after free from this stress for 5 hours. Now you sound like you've had some real trouble with your PC. I've never encountered that myself, but yeah. 3 updates available optionally. What are they for? Oh, okay, yeah, fine. Wi-Fi adapter, although it is already still working, so it's okay. So those are going to take blimmin' yonks, aren't they? So we'll probably just run a quick thermal stress and then we'll call it a day after that. We will call it a day after that. It's a pretty cool spec. I mean, you know, 3060, 1200F, it's still going to do 1080p gaming just fine. It's not going to be a problem. So, like I said, it's always about the goal. Like, does the computer do what you need it to do? I'm going to keep saying it because it's always true. If it's not doing what you want it to do, then you upgrade it or you change it. If it's doing what you need to do, you leave it. Slower Mall, hello my friend. How are you? Where are you coming from today in the world? Let us know. Windows 10 versus both are fine, but please add Windows Classic and Aero themes back. Yeah, I quite like Windows Classic, so I don't like it when these companies try to sort of hide loads of menus and make them look nice. It's like there's a problem I have with Apple, actually, is that they always do that. Hide things behind complicated menus. Apple Silicon MacBooks. Well, I haven't used them, but I've heard very good things about the M1 chip. It's very efficient and works great, so if that achieves your goal, then perfect. All right, what should we do then? We can run Heaven whilst running Prime 95. We can do ACCT. Hey guys, tuning in from Sydney, Australia. Oh my gosh. Bit late for you, isn't it? Is it 12 hours different? So you must be 4 AM. Well, I'm glad to have you on the stream. Glad to have everyone on the stream. And do not cheap out on memory and do not cheap his hard drive. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. But also, don't spend a load of money on the motherboard. Oh, it's only 2 AM, okay, fine. Don't spend a load of money on the motherboard. Most budget builders will be fine on even the cheapest motherboard because you don't need advanced power delivery for the entry to mid-level stuff. Hey, Apple as a company, they've got some genuinely cool products. Yeah, of course they do. They do have some cool products, but their products are like design first and functionality second. So that irks some people, annoys them. Some people, they love it. It's obviously very popular because everyone's got iPhones despite the fact that an Android phone has more capability. So they're obviously doing something right. They must know human beings and what they like. That's all I'm going to say. All right then. So we are going to run some stress tests on the thermals, make sure everything is hunky-dory. And if it is, then we can box this one up, ship it off to the customer. And then I can leave all you lovely people and go and get myself food. Okay, so we've got that running, and now we need to run the Prime 95 alongside. Whenever I do a temperature stress test, I always do the CPU and the graphics at the same time because it's more of a full stress on everything, including the power supply. But this is a 650 watt power supply, graphics pulling 170, CPU pulling is going to be like 65 max. So you're not going to have any problems with the power supply realistically. But we'll give it a try, we'll see. We'll have a look in the BIOS in a bit and see if they have bass frequency boost as well. Yeah, so T-Watt, if you've got high-end requirement, then you might need better VRMs, but you'd be surprised how little you need even to run Ryzen 9 parts. 6-phase VRM, it's going to be just about fine. Ideally, you probably want 8 or 10, but you will get away with it with 6, especially if you've got good case cooling. But if you want to overclock like any chip, but especially Intel, where the power usage is going to go mega high, then you will need more VRMs realistically to get it stable. Because if you've not got enough VRM stages, then the ones that are there are going to get too hot. Then you're going to throttle back your performance and not be able to overclock. But that's beyond the scope of most home builders. Most home builders leave things at stock. So why get a fancy motherboard with features that you're never going to use? Spend that money on other bits of your system that will actually make a difference. That's true, sometimes it does, although this is a pure 3D test and a Prime 95. I don't think they have any crossover, so I think it should be fine. And realistically, this is going to be much more of a workload than the user is ever going to actually do. So I'm fairly happy with it. But you're right, sometimes that will happen. But my goal is to get the maximum heat throughput through the system to make sure that it's stable. Ran a Cinebench test on my game laptop, 13 gen, scored 1 point below M1. M1 is 5 years old. Yeah, the M1 was designed for CPU tasks. That's why it's so good. It's specifically designed for things like something just fell over for that exact kind of thing. Apple lost AI race because they didn't invest nearly much other tech. Yeah, well, who knows? Who knows? Apple are more of a hardware company anyway, aren't they, I think? Yeah. How are your PC specs, Smith? Let's have a look. 1700 XUD, fantastic CPU, that's what I have as well. V650M something. I think it was Mortar. I don't know, you deleted it, but I'll have a look in a minute. I'm sure you'll repost it. But the only question you need to answer is, does it do what you want it to do? That's what makes it a good PC. It's not the spec that makes it a good PC, it's whether it works for what you want to do with it. Apple Silicon is great at video encoding. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what they designed it for. Because creative types are the ones that buy all the Apple stuff, right? And anyone else that's just a general user is just jumping on the hype train because they like the look of it. So how are we doing stress-wise? The system is very quiet. I can barely hear it, and it's going full tilt, but the temperatures are great. I mean, 1200F, but it is a locked part. It's only consuming 65 watts, so that tower cooler is doing great. 70C on the GPU, totally fine. You just don't want things going over 80 on the GPU, and you don't want things going over 90 on the CPU, really. That's all you need. Best motherboard for Ryzen 7 9700X with 5070 Ti. It depends what part of the world you're in. Something like Gigabyte Gaming X AX is good. MSI Gaming Plus Wi-Fi will be fine for that as well. So convert to your currency, but something in the 130 to 150 pounds region will be fine for that. Yeah, probably. It's, like with the Apple stuff, it's designed for a purpose and it achieves the purpose. That's why it's good. That's why it's well regarded. Okay. I need to get myself another drink, so I'm going to show you the benchmarks while I do that. But I can probably, if the wireless range on this mic still keeps up, I can look on the chat and keep up. Okay, we're back. We are back. We are hydrated. We are good. Right, what have I missed? Okay, so Myth gives us his spec: 7800X 3D, ASRock B650 MPG Lightning, 64 gig, 6000. Is it? Depends what the cast latency is on that RAM. Hopefully it's CL30. Gigabyte Gaming AC 4080, case Leon, I don't know. Myth, that is a fantastic system, my friend. But as long as it achieves your goal, then it's great. But it's a very fast system. That's perfectly fine. Hatsumi, let's see, what's he said? 9700X. Yeah, you could stream 1440p on that, no problem. Use the NVENC chip on the graphics. I wouldn't recommend streaming in 2K though. I would stream in 1080p, and your bitrate will look better at 1080p because you don't want to run your stream at really high bitrate because nobody's going to be able to watch it because their internet's not going to be fast enough. So I would stream at 1080p anyway. Soldered memory and simplified system. Yeah, I guess so. It's just a leaner thing, isn't it? GTA says, dude, that power supply is well over spec. Why have you got a 1600 watt power supply? Yeah, CL30, that's nice. Yeah, the rest of it's all looking great. Why have you got a Crucial MX500 as your boot drive though? That's not the best. I would get an NVMe drive, something like a 1 terabyte drive with some DRAM buffering. But if the computer's doing the performance that you need, then keep it as it is. You know, it's fine. I don't want you to spend money just for no reason. 1600 watt is crazy. I've never built a PC with a 1600 watt. Even 5090 systems don't need that. Not going to hurt your system, just not needed. It is like 3 times the PC, that's right. It actually will be less efficient because you're running it lower on its efficiency curve. Yeah, I'd say Hatsumi Gaming, you're correct. 750 watt is bang on for that. Yeah, you'll be fine. Jesus, 65 USD. That is a killer deal. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, we're going to leave this stress test go for another sort of 5 minutes or so. I have previously tested it on the other motherboard, so I know that the temperatures are fine really, but I just wanted to confirm once we swapped all the bits out. Does anyone want to see a destroyed motherboard socket? I'll go and get it. Yeah, I mean, there are probably better PSUs you could have got, but if it's working, it's working. Don't see that? Let me get my face out of the way so you can see it. Look at that socket, absolutely rinsed. Absolutely rinsed. So this is the motherboard that was initially in the PC before we had to rebuild it today. I did this to the socket because the board was already dead. I swapped out CPUs, I swapped out everything, couldn't fix it. So I spoke to NZXT support, said, can I get a warranty replacement? And they said, we'll send you a replacement, but you don't need to send it back to us. You just need to send us a video of you destroying the socket. So that's what I did. And we just have a board here. So I can use this for education. So I can take off the heat sinks. I can show the VRMs and everything under here, show how they actually work and things like that. So yeah. And the best bit about all of it is that the warranty replacement that they sent me is this, which is a beast board. So I could get like an i9 or an i7 overclock system into this. I mean, I don't know how good the power delivery is on this, to be honest. It looks decent enough for overclocking if that's what you wanted. But this is quite a good outcome because I paid £80 for that NZXT Z690 that was here before, and they sent me this as a replacement. I'm sure this must be a much more expensive motherboard than £80. So I'm very happy with this. The only problem is now I've got to find like an Intel 14th gen system to build with it that people are going to want. So if you've got any ideas, put them in the comments. T-Wart, yes, they are. So NZXT motherboards are ASRock motherboards. The BIOS looks identical. The way that you update the BIOS flashback is exactly the same. And I'm sure I've read somewhere that the ASRock are the OEM for them. So that's correct. Yeah, so you're talking about the heat sinks. Yeah, so the heat sinks is a funny one because actually the more power stages you have, the less they have the need for the big heat sinks because there's more of the power stages. The load is shared over the power stages. So those power stages in that board aren't going to get as hot as the ones in a low-end board. So really it's the low-end boards with the low number of power stages that need the VRM heat sinks but don't have them. Interesting kind of paradox. I think the reason they put big heat sinks on the higher-end boards is one, because it looks premium, but also for overclocking it will still be useful to have that cooling there. But it's just one of those ironic things that, you know, if you've got a 16-phase VRM on your motherboard, you don't actually need that big of a heatsink to cool it most of the time unless you are heavily overclocking. Yeah, Myth, I don't know what they were doing with the Ultra thing. They had really strong brand image with the i7 and i9. I don't know why they changed that. I think that was a really weird move. They might go back to saying i7 again because people recognize what that means. They know i7 means decent or above average. They know that i9 means top end. And even i5 was quite popular because people go, well, at least it's an i5. You know what I mean? That's what people used to say. So I think they've kind of messed that up personally. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Yeah, so the higher quality power stages on a higher motherboard can usually handle more current, so even less likely to get super hot. But it's funny because nobody understands how motherboards work, do they? Most people, most of YouTubers do not know how they work. I know how they work because I'm one of these people that has to just know. But yeah, most of your garden variety tech YouTubers, if you actually ask them how does a VRM work, they would completely fall apart. Ultra Mega Duper 9 sounds cool. That would be good. They should just do that. I don't know why they don't just put out a complete meme. Like, make it super overclockable, make it stupid, like 7 gigahertz, but you need like a 420mm just to cool it. And just call it something stupid like the Ultra Super Duper 9. And then just sell like a limited quantity of them. They'd be so popular. I think they'd do great, but that's just me. It's a magic plate. You mean the heatsink? Yeah, basically, it just makes the board look nicer. Right. So temperatures are perfect. I mean, this is real low. Usually in this test on a Ryzen, I'd be up at 85 on the CPU, and I wouldn't be worried. That's good. I mean, the clock doesn't look very good though, does it? So why don't we see if there's a base frequency boost in the BIOS? This will also be because it's an all-core load as well. So during gaming, this will probably be closer to like sort of 4.1 gigahertz probably. Right, so we'll stop that. We'll just, because Prime 95 is a little bitch, sometimes you have to close it from here. Oh no, it's actually closed this time. Okay. So it's probably got some updates to do, so let's just reboot it and then we'll look in the BIOS and then we'll be done. So Noah says, how long have you been in YouTube? So I've been doing YouTube for ages, but I've only been doing it well. Like I've only been happy with my videos for the past year. So it's so hard. I've only got 4,500 subscribers, but it's really a real slog. Don't think it's going to be easy. It's even harder if you're not being controversial and trying to annoy people, because that's how a lot of people make it big. I'm just hoping that as my content improves, that people will pick up on the channel. You just have to keep putting out good content until something takes off. I've got a couple of really cool videos coming up that I think people are going to like, but we'll have to see. The hardest part of YouTube is the ideas and the title and thumbnail. Those are like the three most important things. You don't even need to make a good video, really. You just need good ideas. Tortavik says, what do you think about Ryzen 7 7800 XT and 4070 Ti Super? I think that is a beautiful combination. As long as it's the best that you can get for your money, and as long as it does the job that you think it's going to do, I think you're going to have a great time with that. It's a great combo. I've got 7800 X2D and 4080 Super. I'm not going to change it out for a long time because it still does what I want it to do. It won't really turbo the CPU in Prime 95. It would if we did Cinebench, but the way that Prime 95 works, usually the clocks are lower than real, than it actually is in games and stuff. What's with AM5 and that ducky-ass Wi-Fi card from MediaTek? Oh no, I haven't had any Wi-Fi. I've never had a Wi-Fi card go wrong ever, actually. So that's pretty unlucky. The annoying thing about the MediaTek stuff is that Windows 11 doesn't support it natively, so you have to install the driver. And as we were saying earlier, Windows kind of wants you to be online all the time now. So that puts you in a bit of a bind where you have to install Wi-Fi drivers off a USB, whereas if you just create a local account, then you can get it off a USB to put it on later. Much easier way to do it rather than have to do it in the actual Windows setup thing. You just open a file. So is it? I've never seen it, but my rebuttal to that would be that if you're serious about gaming and internet speed, you should just be using an Ethernet cable anyway, right? Organic traffic is always so it pays off at the end and consistent. Yeah, well, I hope so, TW. I hope so. That's the goal. And I just do this for fun. I do it alongside my business, build some leads, improve my photo and video quality stuff. So that's fine. It's achieving what I want it to achieve. And the better it gets, the more happy I'll be, but it's okay. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm actually a doctor as well, so if YouTube and the PC stuff doesn't work, I just go back to being a doctor. You know, it's not like a big deal. Travel on the weekends frequently, I don't have Ethernet. Oh yeah, fair play, fair play. If you travel a lot, I would recommend you get a VPN if you can afford it. I use Surfshark. I don't have any affiliate codes. I just quite like Surfshark. It's quite good. MediaTek is company makes hardware to use if you're on low budget from Wi-Fi modules. Yeah. That's right. But they used to use Intel and Realtek, didn't they, for most Wi-Fi stuff? But a lot of it is MediaTek now. Yeah. Okay. So our Windows is rebooted after doing a Windows update. So we're going to go back into the BIOS, see if it's got a base frequency boost option. Put that on if it does. And if not, then no worries. It's got Surfshark and it was a lot cheap. Yeah, I've got it. I mean, I get business to pay for it, but it's like £1.80 a month. And one of the best things it does, this is going to sound like an ad now, but I'm not sponsored, I don't have any links. But what it does is it automatically opts you out of like cookies and things like that. Oh, it saves you so much time, totally worth it. And it's better for security as well if you're using public Wi-Fi. And in the UK, Jesus, the government are having a real laugh at the moment with all this stuff about needing to put in your driver's license or whatever to get onto Reddit. So you could bypass all of that as well. Max has got the #1 crown. You always have, mate. You were here the whole stream. How to upgrade to the new version of Windows 11 22H5? I have no idea. Does it matter? Just let Windows Update do it when it feels like it. I don't think you're missing out on anything. All right, so we're in the BIOS. So let's see. Is it going to be under OC, do you think? I've never done it on this one. I've only ever done the base frequency boost on ASRock boards, so we'll have to find it. Advanced CPU configuration. It's probably called something different on MSI, isn't it? Planning on changing to Windows 10 Enterprise. Yeah, you could do that, because they'll keep Enterprise for a bit longer. Oh, so is it light load? Is it light load? I don't think it is it? Turbo boost, CPU TDP toggle control. No, I don't want it on 35 watts. Definitely not. It's got to be one of these options. Oh, is there? I didn't know that that was the case, but I would use a VPN anyway because I don't like the idea of using my like Shopify account and things like that on public Wi-Fi without a VPN. There usually are free ways around things, aren't they? So I'm going to see if MSI BIOS has its base frequency boost. MSI. Intel Turbo Boost. Oh, it's probably got a different name though, hasn't it? It's probably not called base frequency boost. It's probably called something else. Just got to find it. Is it going to be these? Short duration pack. Do I have to set it myself? Usually it's a one-click solution. Maybe it's somewhere else. CPU cooler tuning. MSI. Yes. Here it is. So, what do you think? Unlimited or performance settings? It's probably the same, right? I'm just going to put on performance. We're going to reduce stability. I will put it. I'm going to put it back on the standard in a minute. I'm just curious about what the temperatures are going to be like if we put this on. I've never had it have problems with stability though when you put the base frequency boost on. It's usually fine. So I don't know. I've got loads of extensions. My favorite browser extension is Bitwarden for your password manager because it's open source. It's free. Very, very handy. You just use like gobbledygook passwords instead of having to remember them all or using the same ones. The problem with the extensions is when you get the junk ones, but if you know what you're looking for, it's fine. Let's see then. I want to see if it actually goes to 250 watts or not. There's no way this motherboard is going to push a 12400F to 250 watts. Are you kidding me? It's going to pop out of the socket. There's no way. It won't do it. It'll probably go to like 90 or something. Oh, that's true, Noah. That is one of the annoying things that they do sometimes. But it might be like a legal requirement for them to do that, so I don't know. I'll swallow this USB if it goes to 250 watts. No chance. And it would be pointless anyway. Oh, I shouldn't have started Prime 95 before OCCT, should I? That was a rookie mistake. It's going to take ages to load now. Okay. It's gone to 69 watts. I think it was something like 55 before, wasn't it? It probably won't make any difference. The clock's higher though. The clock is higher, 39, but that might just be the stage of Prime 95 that it's at, in fairness. But see, the base frequency boost that I've used before, you could set the wattage to like 150, which is much more sensible. But yeah. Yeah, well, the ones that did it for me, Mike, was Top Cashback extension does it, and I use Top Cashback a lot. But who cares? Nice, things gone dark suddenly. There we go. Okay, so we are using a little bit more wattage, but the clock looks better. So. I knew there's no way this CPU would ever go even above. I've never seen it go above 100 when you enable the base frequency boost. So, so I think we'll just leave that on. If there's any issues, I can just get them to reload the other profile that we saved earlier. I don't think it's going to be unstable. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap up the stream now. Nearly 5 PM here. So we'll take another look at the finished PC. We'll wrap up any more questions that anyone has, and then we'll get out of here. You just like being new. I hate being on the newest software. Oh god, it's just annoying. It's buggy and things. I want my computer to just work. I just want the computer to work. So I would never be the first person to try any new software out. He was asking for trouble. Okay, cool. So performance is fine. I haven't activated Windows yet. I'll probably just email the code to the customer instead. That's a bit easier. So I think this PC is good to go. We just need to clear up that benchmarks folder and then empty the recycle bin as well. Everything looks hunky-dory. You know I love some lemonade, although that wasn't lemonade, it's Tropical Crush. So, yeah. Who doesn't like lemonade? I think that's like one of those tests they use to find out if you're a psychopath, doesn't it? Like if you don't like lemonade, then you should go to prison. Right. Let's take a look at our creation. One thing I didn't install yet was Signal, wasn't it? Let's do that. Do I like English breakfast tea? Is that a trick question? You know what my accent is, and you're asking me if I like English breakfast tea. I think you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. Like, what is wrong with your brain? Change a drink, how do I guess it? Wow. It's like one of my talismans for the live stream, isn't it? What drink I'm drinking. Right, so I did forget to put Signal RGB on, so we'll just put Signal RGB on and then I'll wrap this PC build up. One of the other things is annoying. I know you can change it, but I preferred it when Windows key and E brought up this PC rather than that little home thing. I know you can change it, but it's just annoying that that's the default. Right, Signal RGB. British person doesn't like tea. I think that is actually one of the triggers for being deported, actually, is if you don't like tea. So I would be very careful of that kind of person. So Signal RGB is probably the best RGB software if you're going to use RGB. I just don't use RGB personally. macOS does that too. It goes to the recents folder and change. Yeah, I know, man. Why do they kind of doing it to make it seem easier, but it's just more annoying for people that know what they're doing. It's like when you right-click on stuff. The new context menu was way worse than the old one. The old one was perfect. It had all the options in it. And now you have to click show more options to get it. And then on my computer, I've got it with the command prompt where you can change it. So you have the old context menu. So when you right click on stuff, you can see all the options. But why would they change something that already works? Crazy. Okay. Right, let's load up Signal RGB and have done with it. If people are in the stream, if you're enjoying the stream, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video. Liking the video tells YouTube that you like it. Viewing it tells them as well, but not to the same degree. If you engage and like and sub, then YouTube wants me to do more of these. Yeah, you're probably right, Noah. You're probably right. They just they say it's a new feature, but really it's just making an existing feature worse. Yeah, building PCs is therapeutic, yeah. The front panel connections, yeah, they're not the best, but really, on PCs mainly, I would just plug in the power button and leave the other buttons. You don't really need a power LED. You definitely don't want a hard drive LED plugged in because it's just annoying. Maybe reset switch, so you can simplify it by only plugging in the ones that you need. Noah, you're absolutely on the money. It's exactly like Lego for adults. Completely agree. Completely agree. Oh, my A-cam keeps running out of battery, so you've got this view. Liking the stream does tell YouTube you like it. Not, you know, viewing does a bit, but not as much as engaging. HDO came faulty from the factory, so GG's. Yeah, perfect. Are you sure it's faulty? You didn't put it in the wrong way up? Because they do have to go in a certain way. Because of the plus and minus. Who cares? You don't want it anyway. It looks awful. Yeah, it is. It's adult Lego, bro. It's good fun. It is relaxing. Particularly when you can do it at your own pace, in your own time, you know? Max is a funny guy. Max has too much time on his hands, watching me stream and taking the mick out of things that I say. Yeah, the wallet has to allow for it, yeah, exactly. Or you run a business like I do. I put 10 PCs here, I didn't do, oh fine, alright, fair. You probably, yeah. So, you know, sometimes case button front panel stuff is faulty, so fair enough. Dude, Signal RGB has taken so damn long to update. What is going on? Am I going to find a folder full of like hentai on here or something? Is that what Signal RGB does? Yes, Mike Games, that is usually correct. Although the power and reset switch, it doesn't matter which way up you put it, so it doesn't matter. The power LEDs are usually single plugs, so it doesn't really matter because you can just look at the plug. The only one that applies to is the HDD plug, which you are correct for. Please put dark mode on. Do you know what's funny? I actually can't because the Windows isn't activated yet. But my PC is in dark mode. I think everybody should be. Yeah. Yeah, it looks just like the Discord, yeah. Nearly done here, guys. Don't forget to like the stream, subscribe. We'll do some more of these. I don't know when the next lot will be. Maybe next week. Depends what jobs I've got to do. Because if I'm doing a build that's sort of full video worthy, I'd probably just not stream it. But if it's like a lower build like this one or something, then yeah, we can stream it. I've got one coming up, maybe end of the week, that I could do on stream, which will be a RTX 5060 and a Ryzen 5500 build, because I got some parts on really good prices. Yeah, I'm still a doctor. So in the UK, it's a little bit different to the US. So in the US, you go straight into your specialty. So you do your medical school and then you apply to orthopedics or dermatology or whatever. UK, you do 2 years of kind of like an internship almost after your medical school, which you do general stuff. And then after that, you have to apply for what's called core training. And then you do a few years of core training either in medicine or surgery, and then you go on to your parent specialty after that. So it's a long time. That's like it's like 2 or 3 years of core training, then 5 or 6 years of higher training. So out of medical school, you're looking at about 10 years before you get to the highest level. So in the US, it's more like 4 or 5. So it's a bit different. It's one of the reasons why I'm trying to make a go of my business instead, because it's just so long until you earn good money. In the UK, doctors do not get good money at all. I get good money because I do it on a locum basis, so I fill in like temporary shifts and things. So I just do a bit of medicine, a little bit of orthopedics, but at a lower level. But if you're just fully employed normally, the money is not very good. It's so I would be on about £45,000 and that's for a 48-hour week, and that's very, very low, I think, for a doctor. So the UK is not a good place to be a doctor, I don't think. It's not a good place to be anything at the moment, actually. It's not in a good state. Yeah. So I don't know about that, Noah. So the American way is a little bit different. So America, you have to do a degree first for 3 or 4 years, and then you do a 4-year medical school. So you do a lot more education up front, whereas in the UK, you just go straight in and do 5 years straight out of school, and then you could be a doctor. So it's a bit different. I think
when you get to the highest level in the UK, you'll be more experienced and probably a bit better than when you get to the highest level in America. But over time, the expertise will kind of even out and they'll be about the same. The American medical schools, their curriculum and their exams are much harder. So they'll be book smarter, probably. But the American way is they love to scan and test everything because they can charge you for it. Whereas in reality, you don't want to scan everything all the time. Like a full body MRI scan, all you're going to do is you're going to find loads of things that would never have bothered you, but now you need to go and have surgery because you're not sure if it's bad. Whereas if you just left it, that thing would never have bothered you for your whole life and you wouldn't have need to have surgery and all the complications and other things like that. So it's a very different way of practicing medicine, UK and USA. USA is very investigate, scan, blood test. Whereas the UK, it's like, we'll do some blood tests and scans if they're indicated, if we think there's a clear question that we're trying to answer, but we don't just scan for the hell of it, because you'll end up finding more problems, but those problems would never have actually amounted to anything in the patient. If you did MRI or CT scans of every 80-year-old man in any country, a huge proportion of them will have prostate cancer. But those people would die with prostate cancer, but not because of the prostate cancer. And there's quite an important difference there. Because why would you put somebody through like an uncomfortable biopsy, surgery, and all the complications you can get from that if that prostate cancer was never going to affect them and they would have died of something else sooner? So it's not always right or wrong. Yes, a lot of scans are radioactive. It depends on which ones. So plain X-rays are ionizing radiation. CT scans, or CAT scans as Americans call them, they are ionizing radiation. And a bit less common, but there's one called nuclear medicine where they inject a radioactive tracer into your body as well. So that one is also ionizing radiation. Ultrasound is not ionizing radiation, and MRI is not ionizing radiation either. No, I don't know so much about that. Maybe. Lots of things just don't have cures. And also people don't follow the treatment advice that they're given. Like the number of people that say, oh, don't take that anymore. It's like, you had a heart attack. That's a beta blocker and a blood pressure reducing medicine. Or you should definitely be taking that if you've had a heart attack before, because you're trying to reduce the number of heart attacks you have in the future. So even for serious stuff, people don't always actually follow the treatments. And most chronic disease is not curable, it's only treatable. So lots of cancers like myeloma, that's treatable but not curable. What else? Most chronic lung problems, chronic heart problems are treatable but not curable. There's not that much that's totally curable. So infections are curable, usually. So it's difficult. It's very easy to go online and then people have very strong opinions about what should be done, why didn't they do this, why didn't they do that. But people don't actually know that medicine's very nuanced. It's the individual person, and you have to use your experience as well as the science. It's not as simple as people think. Sometimes it is. You've got an infection and it's bacterial, you get antibiotics. Yes, correct. But if you've got an infection and it's probably viral, you don't want to give you antibiotics, but people will still want them. So, you know, it's a lot more involved than people think. And a lot of people think they know a lot about health, but they know nothing. Right. Okay, so Signal RGB is installed. I forgot we're talking about computers today. I've gone on an absolute rant there. Right. So Signal RGB is on. We're going to just give it a quick go. Now all of our RGB is synced up. Perfetto. I do still like medicine. It's not like I hate being a doctor. It's actually pretty good fun. It's just the potential upside of business is better. And I've earned a bit of savings money that I can give the business a go for a good few months. And then always go back to medicine if I want to. Cool, so Signal RGB is doing its thing. Let's have a little look at the PC for a final sweep before I say goodbye to the stream.
So I think this case looks nice, man. It's just, like I said, I would never use it because of that damn PSU basement. That is ghastly that there's no cover, it's just a little plate across the front of the glass and you can actually go straight. It looks like the mouse is inside, doesn't it? There's no cable management. So I can't recommend this case to anyone, despite it otherwise being amazing. Like the temperatures are great, space and dimensions are great, just terrible cable management. So there you go. Okay, so any more questions, comments, anything you want to get out of your system before I sign off? I've probably got another couple of minutes, so I'll just see if anything comes up in the chat, otherwise I'm out of here. Thanks, Noah. Really appreciate that, dude. Thank you for the $4.99. It's fantastic. Crack on. Looks like you're going back to work. Looks like I'm finishing work, so love it. Thanks, man. Catch you later. We'll get another live stream going soon. Later this week, maybe next week. Much, much appreciated. Thanks, brother. Any further questions from anybody? I'll give it another minute or two, and then we will head on. Don't forget to like the stream, subscribe. Just got an email that I've got 2 more RTX 5060s coming tomorrow for £210. Yeah, Myth, love it, mate. Get yourself to sleep, it's way too late. Max, I don't know what you're doing today, but I wish I had your job, mate, where I could just be on YouTube all day. I love it. Great to see you again. Unfortunately, you've lost your crown. You're number 2 now, so you're going to have to up your game. Alright, squad. So, catch you in the next stream. Maybe later this week. Maybe next week. That's true, Myth, actually. Never sleep. Just watch my videos on repeat. So if you subscribe to the channel, and then if you ring that notification bell, you'll get updates when I go live again, so you can catch up in the chat. Cracking stuff. Alright. See you later, everyone. Signing off now. Have a great day.